Hello, it's Gray.
Hello, it's Crystal.
And this is What's the Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show several times,
And I, someone who only knows the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For today's episode, we will be discussing Season 4, Episode 19, Jump the Shark. Written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin, directed by Phil Segresha.
Right, so we just looked up what jump the shark means, and Wikipedia says that it's when a creative work has reached a point where it's exhausted its core intent and is introducing new ideas that are discordant with or an over-exaggeration of its original purpose. So essentially, I don't know what else to do with Season 4. Let's give them another brother.
Yeah, literally, this is a 22-episode season, and we're missing one episode idea. So, let's just throw this in there. But, I do love this episode. I think it's super
good
fun.
Episode. I had a fun time with it. It feels very Season 1, which I liked.
Yes, it does. It feels Season 1 in that a lot of the emotional core of the episode is very John-centric and family-centric. Mm-hmm. And also, the discussions that they're having here of, what is hunting? What is, what does it mean for us to have grown up with this life, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Very Season 1. And, of course, they're gonna continue having those questions throughout the show, but it's nice to revisit it, I feel, every once in a while as the story progresses. Because, it does change, but also it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they never went to therapy about it. They have not processed it.
Yeah, their perspectives in life, are gonna change. Their experiences are gonna expand. But at the end of the day, they still did grow up with the childhood that they had. They're always gonna carry that. Yeah. Oh, well. Actually, this is one of those episodes where usually when I go in, I have, a specific set of talking points that I want to bring up. And a lot of it is, I just want to go in, say my piece, and then Crystal can do whatever. But this episode, I was this is one of those episodes where I want to discuss it. Because especially the conversations Sam and Dean have, specifically the one about, Adam being bait, the one they have right after that scene. I think it is so rich. It's so rich, and it's so meaty. And it's while I was watching it, I was tearing up, and I knew kind of what I was feeling, but not in any way I can articulate. And so I'm looking forward to this discussion because I'm okay, now finally I can articulate it. Hopefully, if we discuss it.
I think it may still end up being you saying your piece because I feel I did not cry during this episode. I was just going, wow, Adam Ghoul Adam is literally the funniest guy alive. Go him. And secondly, wow, Sam sure is a dick. I think during discussion I'll be able to tease out more of why Sam ended up here because it does make sense, but it makes sense to me in more of the writers were there's two different ways that one could react to Adam in this situation. Here's the two, and we're gonna give one to Dean and one to Sam. And the Sam one will make sense, but it would also make sense if it was swapped. But since we've given this one to Sam, people can just decide why it is after we give it to him.
Yeah. It is also so fascinating to me because I always remember Season 4 as a wonderful season, just absolutely amazing, right?
And this is the one episode whose name we didn't remember in the fucking Supernatural episodes title quiz that still haunts me every single day. Yeah.
The one where I claimed that there's a bug man in Supernatural and then lose my mind completely when I couldn't find it. Well, there was a bug man in Supernatural,
there was a
just so
man.
Everyone is known. Yeah, wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's a
wonderful
Kofi
episode.
bonus, so I guess only
one
person listening knows what we're talking about. We did the quiz where you're supposed to name every single episode of Supernatural.
Yeah.
And we got every single one except
Season
for Jump
4,
the Shark.
Yeah, in season 4. We had like a bunch of season others that were like kind of sketchy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, like, season 4, I was like, iconic season. But, like, while we were watching it, like, just right before we took the break, I was like, this season's getting bad. Like, it's not, like, as cohesive as I thought it was, right? Mm-hmm. And then we come back, and, like, that takes a holiday. Okay, fine, so-so episode.
Yeah.
And then we go on the head of a pin.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and it's Terrible Life, Monster at the End of the Next Book, and then Jump the Shark. And it's like, these are 4 episodes in a row that are so good and, like, iconic. They mean something, they're saying something, and they're good. Like, they're mood pieces, a lot of them. And it's like, you know, very fun, very moody, very atmospheric. And then I look at the rest of the episodes that are to come this season, and I'm like, okay, I completely understand now why I thought season 4 was like an absolute gem of a season in Supernatural. It's because this final lineup of episodes from 16 to 22 are just
ends with the
iconic.
7-episode high note.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like every time you go through a season 4, even if the middle parts are like a bit sketchy, once you hit on the head of a pin, everything after that is so amazing that you're like, you do like a retrospective, like, you wash all of that terrible memories of the middle episodes away with this very high note at the end. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The episode after this is The Rapture. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Mm-hmm. And then it's when the Levy breaks and then it's Lucifer Rising. What if it's all over?
Yeah.
Well,
I hope that
iconic.
it is as good as promised.
So yeah, Crystal, what did you know about this episode before you watched it?
So I knew that they were gonna meet Adam, who's their younger half-brother from John, and some woman named Kate that he met on a hunt. And that during the discussion of that, there's like a very interesting line about how like sometimes like you save the girl and sometimes the girl's grateful, as like how Adam could have come into being, which I think we've discussed before in terms of like the damsel rescuer sexual dynamics of like the supernatural woman of the week. I knew that after that they like cross-checked John's journal to see that Adam's never mentioned, but he often like goes to like the city that he's living in like each year, possibly on his birthday. Not each year, but he goes there.
Yeah, not only that, he fucking tears off the pages that like mention like having sex with Adam's mom, which is so iconic of him.
And that while they're there, Adam's gonna tell them that John was a good dad and took him to baseball games, and Dean's gonna be really mad about it. But then it'll turn out that Adam and Kate are both dead and that this is a ghoul having a lot of fun, and they eventually have to kill it and burn the body. So that's what I knew.
You know what? I didn't know about the ghoul part.
Wait, you didn't? You've seen this?
I thought that was another episode. I thought they meet him, and the next episode he's gonna be dead by ghoul, and then gonna be brought up.
Super dead, and then Cass drags his body out of the earth, and like it's like, can you defeat Michael or some shit to him in season 5?
Can you be Michael's vessel? Yeah. I mean, I knew that conceptually, but I was still a bit surprised. I mean, I don't know. I think it was something like, I thought it was like they do actually meet him and then he dies.
Oh, like he gets replaced midway through?
Yes.
No, this is all the ghoul, baby.
There was, at some point in this episode, like, you know, when he does the final switch where he's holding the gun, which is such a stupid thing to do, Sam, by the way. Like, you're gonna give the kid, like, the gun to shoot his mom.
No. What happened at the end? No, Sam was the one holding the gun, and then Adam wrested it away from him.
Then he should have just wrestled it back. I don't know. I thought it was stupid.
The thing about someone holding a gun is that when you try to wrest the gun back, they may shoot you with the gun. So one must be careful in that situation.
This is true, but also Sam is like master gun holder, and Adam just held a gun for the first time today. So
I mean, Adam did a decent job at shooting those targets, and Sam's trying really hard to give him a chance. I mean, he's probably just thinking about how like life would be a lot more bearable on the road if Dean wasn't the only person he could talk to. So that probably distracted his judgment.
I mean, we did say that maybe
having a younger brother would fix them.
Will solve Sam and Dean's problems in life. And you know what? I think it would. Or maybe it won't. Let's see. Let's see where this discussion takes us.
Show that.
No, I do think it's interesting that Dean's perspective is like, yeah, like, we're all, like, you know, we all come from the same dad, but whatever we experience as children, we deserve that, and Adam doesn't. And it's like, okay, well, absolutely crazy take. Good for you.
Deserved? I don't think that's what Dean...
I mean, of course, it's more of, like, we're already here already, so, like, might as well.
Yeah.
But, again, we'll talk about when we discuss it, because my thoughts are not well formulated as of now.
So, wait, so, like, when did you know that he was a ghoul?
I don't know. When he turned around and was like,
I know,
or something.
And gave a sicko smile of sickoness.
Yeah, he was like, haha, yeah, haha. Sicko voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the dance sequence this episode, pretty banger. I do love it when they have a dance sequence that is, like, so obviously John. Because John, like, only shows up, honestly, for really few episodes. And so, like, they just recycle that shit. Good for them.
Yeah.
I don't know, some iconic lines here are, like, John saying that I couldn't accept that we were different, and Sam being like, we're not different, like, not anymore. Which they do bring up this episode. They also bring up a lot of the blood drinking stuff because it becomes semi-irrelevant later in a way that is so confusing to me. Like, what? Supernatural, what are you trying to tell me? What the fuck is this about?
Oh, yeah, when the ghouls are like, his blood tastes different?
No, I mean, specifically, it was like when the ghouls go, oh, but why is my dad a monster? Because of what he ate? And that's supposed to be like a Sam, like, you're a monster too because of what you drink.
Wait,
like,
I did not read it like that at all.
Yeah. No. I mean, of course, I also was like, I don't read it like that, but like, I think Supernatural wants us to be like, yeah, Sam is also a monster. What a fucking hypocrite. When it's supposed to be like, yeah, that guy wasn't a monster, and like Sam isn't a monster, but the way it's framed, but the way it's framed in the story is like that guy's horrible and Sam's horrible, and I was like, Supernatural, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, I mean, wild of them to give the ghouls such a good logical argument, but to think that we would not think that it's a good logical argument.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but the thing is,
they were right. They were both right.
No, because the whole time they're like, oh yeah, like, my dad wasn't evil, and I'm mad at you and this is revenge. But like, the distinction we are supposed to make, I believe, is that when Sam and Dean do revenge, they want to do it, but they feel bad about it. And these two, it's like, they want to do it, but they're like, yeah, I mean, this is a fine thing we're doing, I think. So, like, that makes it bad.
Yeah,
like, it's not the like action, it's
torture
how
you
feel.
You have to feel bad about it also.
Yeah, it's not about what the action actually is. It's about how you feel about the action. Like, when you do your torture/killing for revenge situation, do you go, oh, woe is me, or do you do like a haha, yeah, haha, in a sicko voice? Like, you know, and that's what makes it either morally bad or morally good.
Oh, God, Supernatural's so fucked in the head.
It's such a fucked in the head show, for fucking real. You can only do things that are logically sound and that you want to do if you feel bad about it. Like, okay, sure.
You should also do logically unsound things all the time just based off of it's evil if it's not human. God.
Yeah.
Whatever. What fucking ever.
Whatever. Well, so
also the then sequence ends with Dean saying, "It's already gone too far, Sam. If I didn't know you, I would want to hunt you." Can you believe he said that shit? No wonder I was like miserable for a week after I watched that episode and hated recording it so much.
yeah, it's an insane thing to say. And like honestly, that's what like that the fact that the then sequence ends with that is what informs my like conviction that
That's what they were going with the ghouls.
Yeah, because like they wouldn't do
fucking
this.
L.
They wouldn't put that line in there if it wasn't. They would put the line of Sam being like, I'm not actually, or whatever. Has he ever said that? Or was he just like, yeah, I am evil, but I'm sad about it, or whatever.
I'm sure he said things in Metamorphosis. Okay, but I guess that line does remind me about... Okay, in season 2, Dean never was like, Dad told me to kill you, but I promise I won't, right? He just said, I'll save you so I don't have to kill you, right? Like, that's what he said?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
too.
well, first, fucked. Secondly, like, I feel like Sam's arrogance in season 4 is the only thing preventing me from wondering if part of the reason why he's hiding it from Dean is that, like, he'll be like, well, Dean said that if I cross a certain line, he'll kill me. This is probably the line. But I feel like season 4 Sam is in a mental and emotional place where, like, if he had that thought, he would be able to repress it really fast and have it not affect him much. Maybe, I feel like if he had the thought, he'd have it in like but I could take him, but I don't want to be in a position where I have to.
Yeah, he'd probably be like, Dean is too weak to kill you, or whatever.
No, for real. God.
I love how at the beginning of this recording I was like, and this last 7 episodes are so good and so iconic, and now we're just like, Supernatural is so stupid. But like both things can be true.
Love is love.
Yeah. Love is love. So we start this episode in this woman's house, and I don't know, she's walking around kind of screaming, she's scared, something's chasing her, etc. She ends up backed against a door, and then, backed against something else. And eventually, she's, like, by the bed. And she's still terrified. She's standing beside the bed. And we see, like, a shot from underneath the bed. It's, normal, typical horror movie, like, being is creeping out of the bed into this unsuspecting woman's feet. And then she gets grabbed. She screams. And as she gets dragged on the floor, she leaves scratch marks, and the dresser falls over, and we see that part of the stuff knocked over is a solo picture of John Winchester.
Solo on her nightstand. Like, she goes to sleep every night and waves goodnight to a solo photo of John fucking Winchester. Like, no, she does not. Like, they have photos later of, like, the two of them together. Like, if it was a photo of the two of them together, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like, that's something you would put in your bedroom. Solo photograph of John Winchester? And she doesn't even know he's dead, right? So, like...
She doesn't know he's dead. Because if she did, the ghouls would know. Just because they have, like...
Yeah, they have her memories from taking over her body or eating her or whatever, yeah.
If
he was dead, like, sure, you could have that. But, like, come on. John Winchester? Solo picture? God, poor woman.
Like, I don't understand what the relationship between Kate and John is supposed to be like. Are they supposed to be in love?
I don't know, because, I really thought it was, because, okay, she wouldn't tell Adam about him or call him until, like, what, like,
Adam was
6
like 12,
years ago, and then he would only visit on Adam's birthday and shit. Are you telling me, like, she's been, like, holding out for John Winchester for 6 years? Like... that's incredibly sad. I don't think anyone would do that.
Also, John died, like, 4 years ago, right? Or what is it?
Yeah,
How long ago did John die?
Well, he died in season 2, so I guess he died 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Dean does say that.
So,
like, what an odd.
Also, she thinks he's a mechanic, right? So,
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like, he doesn't really have, like, an excuse. Like, if she wanted to be with him, she would just, like, ask.
Move to where he is, like,
or
doing
move to where
work.
he's, like, mechanicking. Yeah. I don't know. I think that perhaps Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin don't understand what people are like.
If this was kind of like so, like, John shows up, and then, like, 12 years gone, and then he realizes he has a kid, and then commits himself to this family. Like, that would make more sense. But obviously that doesn't happen. Obviously it's not what happens. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you think when he visits, like, she hides the portrait, or, like, he comes in, he's like, that's a normal thing to have on the nightstand?
Yeah.
Like, correct of you to do. I see you once a year. I hope that you look at my photograph every night.
They also have a picture together that's, like, they're lovey-dovey. Like, they're, like...
Right,
like,
so,
her hand is, like,
on
John's chest or whatever.
Like, long distance? Like, were they, like, supposed to be dating throughout season 1?
Maybe season 1 John was gone because he's having a torrid love affair honeymoon period with Kate.
Yeah, maybe so. He was like, God, I'm so obsessed with getting revenge for Mary's death, blah, 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 but also, like, most of the time I'm not looking for the demon. I mean, Kate is blonde.
No, I mean, here's the thing. The reason why they have this picture is because it's similar to a picture that John and Mary have. And that's the whole point. It's for Dean to look at it and go, oh, just like Dad and Mom. But that's not Mom. That's another woman.
Yeah.
So, like, it sounds stupid.
Yeah, I have no clue what the nature of their relationship is.
Best not to speculate, yeah.
Yeah. Not. Okay, well, now that we've panned this poor woman for her decor choices for 10 minutes or some shit, let's move on to the episode. We start by a lake. It's morning, the Impala is parked, and Sam is outside leaning against it, brushing his teeth. It's so cute.
He's not using toothpaste.
He also does not have water to rinse off the toothbrush. Like, it's gotta be
I think
icky.
he's using the salt method, where, like, you brush your teeth with salt. I suppose is what he's doing. I mean, they have so much salt, so he probably has, like, all of our toothpaste budget went into the salt. So, like, let's just use the salt to brush my teeth. But also, what an odd. I don't know. I thought it was odd. Good for him, though.
No, I guess they just don't have time to hold on to things. So, no toothpaste.
He doesn't even look like he's brushing his teeth. I feel like he's just steaming with this, like, fucking toothbrush. He's just like, okay, I just want something in my mouth right now, and I want to dig into the back of my, like, cheek. And then, like, good for him. It's cute, though. I do like this visual a lot, and I think really this adds to what you said about it looking like a season 1 thing. Because, like, even in the shot, I don't know, I look at this and I was like, this doesn't look like season 4 Sam. It looks like Sammy.
Yeah, he does look younger.
Yeah.
Aw, Sam.
And he is about to learn that he's a middle child.
Yeah, maybe all that, like, hashtag sick and twisted shit he said later was just, like, from learning that he was a middle child. Like, I get it. He was like, I have to ruin Adam's life. This is the only option.
Yeah, it's my job as an older brother, yeah.
Yeah, like, I've seen how this goes. I have a great role model for how to be an older brother. Let's do this.
For real.
Dean, he's asleep. He's doing a physical comedy bit where he's sleeping in a very uncomfortable position. And then when he opens the door, he, like, falls on the ground almost. And
this is not a
just,
physical comedy bit. It's not funny. I don't know. Probably. But I didn't think it was funny.
Alright, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. They're talking about how they're 2 hours away from any food. Dean searches for a sandwich in the back seat, but it's tuna, so it's... Is it just that, like, it's gone bad by now and smells bad, or is it, like, it's gay to not eat beef? Like, what's the situation here?
Tuna, like, if it's a tuna sandwich, I'm assuming it's the thing with the mayo and everything, that shit's gotta expire, like, real quickly. So, it's probably gone bad. And it's in the back seat, in this warm whatever this is, yeah.
There's a phone that rings inside the car. Dean gets it, and Sam goes, "Isn't that Dad's phone?" So I guess that does mean that Dean keeps it charged. Yeah, it has to charge this sometimes, and I'm assuming it's Dean who does it. So, but okay, I wonder if Sam kept John's phones charged, like, while Dean was dead as well. Probably just because, like, he was in, like, hardcore hunter mode and probably wanted to know if there was going to be any intel relevant to the demon war. Dean picks up the phone and someone asks, "Is this John?" And, Dean says he can't come to the phone.
Why? Because John is dead. I'm sorry.
Real. The person says, like, "I really need to talk to John." He introduces himself as Adam Milligan, someone that John knows, and Dean, with absolutely no tact at all, goes, "Well, sorry to be the one to break this to you, pal, but John died more than 2 years ago." Rude.
I think it's fine.
I think it's the pal that makes it condescending to me. I mean, I would deliver it differently.
Hate to break it to you, my friend. But John has been dead for more than 2 years now.
So there's, like, Adam makes, like, a sound of surprise and dismay. And Dean goes, "Who is this?" And Adam goes, "I'm his son." Gasp!
Iconic, honestly.
Truly.
We go to a, like, Minnesotan diner. And Sam and Dean are preparing to enter, but Dean is really loading up with weapons. Sam is talking about how, like, Adam does check out. He was born, like, September 29th, 1990. Sam is saying that this guy checks out, Dean. I don't know what to tell you. And Dean is saying, like, yeah, maybe the person checks out, but, like, that's a demon or whatever. He can't be actually Dad's son.
He's a biology major who's pre-med. Just like
Which
Sam
is so
was
funny.
pre-law.
Which is so funny because here they acknowledge that they understand that, like, a pre-blank course is like a bachelor's degree that you specifically take to do something after, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they understand that, like, biology is the course.
There's a pre-med track on biology. What is the pre-law track on whatever Sam's actual major was? What was his major?
Literally, the dean was, like, fucking lying to him or something. Like, the dean was like, "I think we can keep this kid here forever," like, in undergrad. And they probably could.
I mean, Sam's getting a full ride, so, like, they're, like, losing the longer they keep him. Like, they're probably like, "Oh, we're giving you this special course that actually only takes, like, 3 years or whatever. It's pre-law." That's the name of it?
It's a pre-law. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Sam's course? We had this discussion before, but every single time I'm like...
psychology, I thought.
Psychology, right? What if he's a business major?
God.
Literally, I think all business... I don't want to be a hater. So I'll just stop talking right now.
I don't think Sam would be a business major. I think that's too removed from his skill set.
Sam would not be a business major, but it would be pretty funny if he was.
It would be pretty funny if he was.
Everybody in that course would be like, yeah, my dad, like, established this real big company and I want to be just like him. Blah, blah, blah. Our family has had this company for centuries, you know, whatever. Yeah. And Sam's like, I don't know, my uncle has like a salvage yard. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it is pretty cool. Him. And it is pretty cool, yeah. Have I talked about here about how, like, for the longest time I thought salvage meant kill, and I couldn't understand why salvage yard, like Bobby Singer's salvage yard, was called a salvage yard. There. I know. Yeah,
you bring good cars. You bring cars that work in there. Then Bobby, like,
and then you kill the car.
Yeah.
They go in there. And as they approach the table, Dean does this really interesting thing where he removes the chair beside where Adam's supposed to sit. What is the intentionality behind that? Just to make sure that
he's sitting across from Dean so that Dean can shoot him.
Oh, that's crazy. But he's not, though. He's sitting, like, in front of Sam.
Is he really?
Yeah. He sat in front of the water and everything. I thought it was because so that, like, what if the server serves, like, 2 cutleries for that place and, like, he doesn't get the cutlery that's supposed to be...
Oh, yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, but when it first happened, I was like, well, that's very odd, but go Dean.
I feel like if you were planning to murder this kid, you should arrange to meet somewhere other than a public diner. Like, personally.
Maybe Dean was like, well, we're already in a fucking, like, FBI watch list. Like, I the gaff.
He's like, I care so much about saving innocent civilians from knowing about ghosts, but I will murder people in front of them, no issue.
You see a vampire sucking blood? Hell nah. You see a guy get blasted open in the middle of this diner? It's fine.
Grow up, get over it.
Well, it'll be worse if I was a vampire, bro. They have this bit where Dean is very rude to the waiter. Mm-hmm. The waiter is also pissed at him. Dean gets his house water and pours it down like a plant and then fills it up with holy water from his flask. And then he puts the glass like where Adam is supposed to sit so that Adam can drink it when he shows up. You're gonna give this kid cholera is what's gonna happen here. Like, you're gonna kill this person with, like, amoebiasis or something.
Yeah.
Fucking awful thing to do. I was like half hoping that when Adam drinks it, he's like
he spits it out.
Shit, what? He's like, what the fuck happened to the tap water here? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dean also takes out a bunch of cutlery that is, I don't know, silver, I suppose.
Right, which implies that a shapeshifter, upon touching silver, not even being cut on it, would react. So why do they always test themselves with silver knives instead of just, like,
I know,
tapping the blade with their finger?
Also, it's like a whole thing where, like, they're holding the knife up, being like, it's silver. And it's like, well, isn't that already? Like, you don't have to be like, it's silver, and then I'm gonna cut myself with it. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the whole time, like, I mean, the vibe is that Dean's being incredibly intense, and Sam's just, like, chill out. And I think that kind of reaches
I think less chill out and more like,
let's
like,
take
he's
a reason
sad about this.
A reasoned approach to this. Is Sam sad about this?
Yeah. I think he is, like, aware that Dean is reacting in a way that is out of proportion. But in a way that is, like, understanding of the situation. And it's kind of, like, skittering around Dean, you know?
Okay,
like, in a... Like, the way he approaches the conversation is like, look, man, I get it, but...
But yeah, what Dean says is, like, either way, this thing is gonna bleed. I mean, using dad as bait, that's the last mistake of its short, pitiful life. So, yeah, I mean, clearly he still holds the... I don't know. He, like, holds the memory of John as incredibly sacred, but then at the end, like, it is an insult to say that Sam is like John. Like, that is how he means it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess one can have complicated relationships with complicated figures in one's life.
There is a big difference between, like, other people using your relationship with your family against you versus, like, you with a person who also went through the same shit going, like, yeah, that guy's horrible, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
Sometimes I do feel sad that even Sam and Dean between each other often can't just admit that to each other. And a big part of it is Dean can't admit it to himself. That, like, and the way he talks about what happened with their childhoods too, you know? Like, kind of like absolving John of it even. And not even absolving in the he did the right thing. It's just more of like, yeah, he probably did the wrong thing, but it's not like he had any choice. It's crazy. Well, we'll get into it later. It's like, look, I think there is some truth to this because 1990, January, he does say he's heading to Minnesota to check out a case. And then Sam, like, opens it to that page. And the next 2 pages were, like, ripped out completely.
Hilarious.
Fun stuff!
Absolutely hilarious. Okay, that implies that, like... Because, okay, Sam says later, like, he wasn't exactly a monk, but, like, to feel so ashamed of, like, having casual sex once that you tear it out of your journal implies that, like, John was a monk until now.
No, but the thing is, like, this is a binder. This journal is a binder. So, like, if he wants to remove those pages, he could. And also, if he just wants to rip it out, he also could do that cleanly with no mark left behind. So it implies that the tearing out is kind of like a last-minute thing. He didn't have the time or the thought to remove it carefully from the binder or tear it out and remove all of the remaining pieces. Or he did
it in, like, an emotional whirlwind. But, like, he had to write all of that down. Also, 2 pages? He described it for 2 pages?
I think what happened here is that when he was giving this journal to Dean or whatever, when he's leaving it behind, he was like, okay, let's remove this part. Like, I don't think this is, like, immediately after he's, like, writing in his journal, oh, what a night, a la Mamma Mia. And then... like, there's the pages out, like, right after. I think this is, like, years and years and years down the line. He's like, okay, I need to leave this journal to Dean so he has references. And he's like, oh, shit, but I have that 1 page. Let me tear that out real quick.
Okay. That makes sense, I think. But, like, why is he also so vague in all of his later trips to Minnesota lines?
First of all, isn't it so fascinating that it's, like, multiple... years of John's life is like decades even of John's life is in this journal.
Well, it's just the hunts.
And it's just but like it's this short? How many hunts was he going to?
Oh, I'm sure he has some kind of a shorthand.
That's true. Isn't there like a physical like publication of John's That's true, journal, right?
Yeah.
There's I will never read it. Good luck to everyone.
I will also never read it, but sometimes I see passages, and I enjoy seeing the passages.
Also, I think maybe part of that, as you said, is it's just hunts. So he's not gonna go there be like, today, me and Adam went to a baseball game. He's 15 years old now. He's all grown up. Like, he's not gonna do that shit.
I feel like the published John's journal is like that, though. It's all like, I'm worried about Sam because he isn't having sex with girls, unlike Dean.
Yeah, it's like, I'm worried about Sam because he's a fucking homo and he's so weak and small. And it's like, okay, slay.
Yeah.
But, like, this journal is obviously not that. This is, I mean, you think Sam is opening the journal and being like, wow, Dad thought I was a homo and so weak and fucking small and tiny.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, I don't know who wrote the John's Journal official supernatural whatever the fuck, but I don't think that they coordinated with the props team or whatever regarding what would be in it.
I don't know. I think that's a reason behind the Minnesota. It's more of, like, recording where I was this week.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, recording what actually happened and shit.
Makes sense.
Fascinating personality. John has.
Yeah.
This is also fascinating just by virtue of the whole, like, realizing that your parents are, like, more than your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, John is dad, but also John is John, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, this is what's happening to Sam and Dean right now. Sam is saying, like, I don't really want to believe it, but, you know, dad would just be gone for weeks at a time, and he wasn't exactly a monk. And Sam goes, I mean, a hunter rolls into town, kills a monster, saves the girl. Sometimes the girl's grateful.
Fucked up.
Horrible.
Like, okay, Sam has not had an encounter like this.
Similar to this, yeah.
Right, because, yeah, like, Sarah, Kara,
and Sam
and
and Dean in a way has that.
Dean had that with Jamie.
Who the fuck?
From Monster Movie.
Oh yeah, did they have sex
after the case ended?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot. Well,
Dean had that with Jamie, and then we have like tame versions of that with Haley and Andrea in 102 and 103 with Dean. Dean does follow that model. Madison, one could claim that is that because they think that like she's no longer a werewolf, and then she and Sam sleep together. So it is kind of like oh, you rescued me, and then let's have sex. So like both of them have engaged in this dynamic before.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks.
Adam comes in. He's looking around. Adam goes to sit in the chair that Dean has reserved for him. He's asking, like, how do you know my dad? And Sam's like, yeah, we work together. And Adam's like, as a mechanic? And Sam, you're like, yeah, he died on the job. A car fell on him.
Dean comes up with a car fell on him, but yeah, it's great.
Lovely, absolutely wonderful. They also do this bit where
a car did fall on him though.
Like he got hit by a giant truck.
He did get hit by a giant truck. Like a car did fall on him.
So we do this thing where the waiter earlier, who was like Dean was rude to and was rude back to Dean, knows Adam and is like asking him very friendly, like, oh, what's your order? The usual? Okay, thanks. And I do think this is, like, very interesting because the way they do this scene is, like, they really are tearing down all of the suspicion for Adam, which is, I think, such a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah. It's like he's just a nice kid and they all know him.
Yeah, nice kid. Everybody knows him, so, like, it must be him because, like, if it's not him, how would he know all these people? And also obviously the holy water and the silver. Sam is asking, when's the last time you saw John? It's a couple years back now. And he decided to call John because he's the only family I got. And yeah, Adam says his mom's missing. Yeah, Sam hears this and it goes, oh my God, I'm sorry. For how long? And Dean's like, I'd a gaff. If you're John's kid, how come we've never heard of you? And Adam said, yeah, we didn't really know each other, just not until a few years ago. And he starts telling his life story, like his mom never really talked about John. He just knows that his mom is a nurse and his dad came into the ER and like got fixed up in the hospital. But that's all he knows, and they're not exactly a nuclear family. Interesting dynamic, I suppose.
True, right, because it is like sort of a swap of what Sam assumed happened. Like she rescued him or whatever. Like he was grateful to her.
So, and Dean asks like, oh, so when did you finally meet him? And it was when he was 12.
Wait, Adam says we're not exactly a nuclear family, and Sam says, yeah, well, who is these days? What is Sam talking about?
I don't know.
The dissolution of the family? Like...
Everybody's getting divorced? Is that what this is about?
I don't know. Was this like a big political talking point in like 2009? Like, is this a reference to like some kind of a campaign? Or is Sam just being open-minded? Like, what's the deal?
I have no idea.
Yeah. We'll all have no idea forever.
He met John finally when he was 12. Like, he begged his mom to get one of John's numbers. That's...
Yeah,
what a fascinating childhood.
John left his number, it means.
Like, maybe Kate does have contact with John.
Yeah, like they text.
But the way it's implied is like John didn't know he had a kid until Adam called.
So John left his number as like a, if that ghoul ever comes back, because I guess it's like, he didn't get all of them, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because he only got the dad ghoul, so maybe it was like, give me a call if like case stuff starts acting up. The baby
ghouls come to being, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was also just a good lay, like, call me if you want another good lay.
True.
Yeah.
And she didn't for 12 years, so that says something, I think.
Literally. He says when he called, John dropped everything. He raced to town. He drove all night. And, like, Dean is watching all this. And by this point, by the way, he has pulled out a gun.
Yeah.
Like, just solidly. Just pulled out a gun.
Yep, under the table. Aimed right at that kid.
I felt like, kind of like the entire scene, the moment Dean pulls out that gun, and then every single second, he's just, like, pointing it more and more at Adam's direction and, like, whatever it is that they do when they pull back that thing. Like, I was like, good lord, what the fuck is Dean doing? But okay, fine. At this point, Adam has drank the holy water, nothing happens. He goes to start eating. He holds the silverware and nothing happens. He's reminiscing. He's saying like, oh yeah, he taught me poker and pool. And he bought me my first beer when I was 15.
Horrible.
He showed me how to drive. And yeah, he had this beautiful 67 Impala. And Dean is just like, oh, fuck you. Like, let's stop this all at once. But I want to dissect the Adam lines first. Mm-hmm. I think what's supposed to be the thing here is like, doesn't Dean mention like drinking beer when he was young?
Yeah.
With John?
It would be in 1520, wouldn't it? I'm sure it happens earlier as well, but
he says something about like, this is the first beer we shared and it was so bad. It was like actually terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, when did Dean learn how to drive?
Earlier than 16.
Definitely.
I think so. I don't know.
I think this is part of the reason why this is what pisses Dean off. Because especially the poker and pool part, it's like, we know that Sam and Dean use these, like, poker and pool to earn money. Mm-hmm. We know that because we've seen it. The pool anyhow. Like, the poker, I think we will see it. Like, Sam does play poker at some point.
Also in Bugs, doesn't Dean get money from poker? Like, he comes out of the bar at the beginning and that's what he's pool. Been doing? No? Are you sure? Okay.
That's pool, yeah. That's what I'm saying, that, like, they earn money using this shit. And so, it must hurt to be like, oh, the poker and pool, which is, like, something that we had to learn, or, well, I had to learn to sustain myself, is something that, like, John taught Adam as, like, a fun thing. Mm-hmm. Sharing your first beer, I don't know, it's, like...
6 years below the legal age.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
Drinking age is 21.
I don't think that's bad, though. Like,
yeah,
letting a kid 15 years old drink. You think it's bad?
I think it's bad, yeah.
Oh, I think if you do it with parental supervision, I think it's actually better because it's like,
yeah, I think
kids
it's
are gonna drink anyway.
Supervision, but I think at 15. Well, okay, the thing is, John buys it for Adam, right? So like, that means it wasn't like, it doesn't necessarily mean that Adam like was like begging him to like I want to like see what it's like to drink. Like, I don't know. I feel like I read he bought me my first beer when I was 15. It's just like John sprung it on him and he was like, okay, that's a cool thing to do.
You don't drink. So, like,
That's
I
true.
understand that. But
I guess I don't.
Many people at age 15 are begging to have a drink. Yeah.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah. And I like something that I just sound so like my parents did it, so it's fine. But like something my parents would do is like make like when I drink, they make it so that like I am drinking in front of them so that they know what I'm drinking and how much. It's better this way than like have you like drink somewhere else with other
I agree
people
with that.
who, especially if it's like your peers and you're all like fucking 15 and none of you know what your limits are, you know. And so it's better to just do it like whatever at home. So this is something that I was like, yeah, that's a good, fun dad-kid bonding experience.
And I was like, John's an irresponsible parent and awful for this.
Yeah. And then showing how to drive, I suppose, is like, I don't know. I don't know what Dean's driving history is. This did make me sad. And Dean was like, yeah, you're lying to me. Be on the lookout. Adam goes, no, I'm not. And he just goes, yeah, you are. They're so funny. They're already brothers. Like, they're already living the brother life. Mm-hmm. Adam is like, who the hell are you to call me a liar? And this is when Dean reveals that, like, oh, we're John's children.
He goes, we are his sons. God, he's so funny.
Yeah. And Adam replies to this, like, with, I've got brothers.
He's happy. Because he's a ghoul being so funny.
Yeah, he's pleased by this. And Dean says, no, you don't have brothers. I don't know if you're whatever you are, but I don't know what game you're playing here. Dean goes to leave, but Adam says, I can prove it.
Yeah. So we go inside his house, where his mom died earlier.
R.I.P.
Dean is being shown a photo of Adam and John at a baseball game, because this was something that they did together for Adam's 14th birthday. Sam cross-references that in the journal. It's true. Dean goes, he took you to a freaking baseball game? Adam goes like, yeah, why? What did Dad do with you on your birthday? And Dean's face just twitches. God, so funny, so funny, so funny.
And the thing is, like, this fucking ghoul knows that John is a hunter and probably knows that he treated his kids so poorly or whatever. And so he literally is just fucking taunting Dean.
Exactly.
Specifically. It's so
great.
Funny.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it even.
Also, every time Adam calls John Dad, like, it does jump scare me a little, which is the point, I think, so good on them for that.
Does it also jump scare you when I call John Dad?
Yes, of course.
Every time I do that, and then, like, I go back to edit it or whatever, I also get jump scared when I go, but Dad is blah, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Sam's, like, on this. Like, he's ready to accept Adam into, like, the family, because he says, like, Adam, you said you called Dad because your mom was missing. Which, yeah, I feel like if he was talking to someone else, he'd say John. Like, he's saying Dad in the, like, your dad way, not in the my dad way, it feels like, but also in an our dad way. He says, Adam, you said you called Dad because your mom was missing. And turns out she's been gone for 3 days. She didn't show up to work on Wednesday. And then this is when Dean sees the picture of John and Kate hugging that looks very similar to the photo of John and Mary that was on Sam's nightstand in 101. And yeah, she does look like Mary. So, Adam says that the hospital supervisor called the cops. He drove down here. He feels guilty about not being here. The police weren't able to find anything, but he knows that she wouldn't leave without telling anyone. So they go to her room to check. There's more photos of Kate and John and Adam together. He's looking around, and then Adam asks him, "What else can you tell me about Dad?" And Dean says, "You knew him." And Adam says, "Not as well as you." And Dean says, "Trust me, kid, you don't want to know." Slay. Sam and Dean talk outside for a bit, because Sam found some newspapers from 1990 that are about how there were 17 bodies missing from the graveyard but were recovered from some abandoned shed. So that is probably why John was here, because he is in the photograph looking like a creep.
Form in the back. Yeah. I can't believe, like, whoever published this newspaper was like, yeah, there's this guy, like, lurking in the back looking menacingly at this whole affair. Yeah. And he is also, like, a new person in town. Yeah. No, yeah, that's nothing. It's probably nothing.
Yeah,
Who even give a shit?
I mean, we found the bodies. We don't know who took them. There's this creepy guy, but what else?
Yeah, and criminals frequently go back to the scene of the crimes and, like, looks at investigation and stuff. But who even give a shit?
Who give a shit? They don't know anything about the hunt because those were the pages that John ripped out of the journal. But recently, last month, 3 bodies disappeared from the local cemetery. So whatever he's hunting may be back. The 2 living people missing are Kate and a bartender named Joe Barton, who we find out later used to be a cop, so, like, I'm glad he quit his job. So Dean comes back in and finds out that Kate did not know Joe Barton, and then he notices that there are scratches on the floor of the bedroom. So they lift up the mattress and see that there's a large vent right under the bed. And then there's a cute little scene where, like, they look at each other and non-verbally decide to start playing rock, paper, scissors. And Dean loses. Hell yeah. Dean usually loses, right? Because he always picks scissors.
Yes, that is like isn't there already an episode way back? I think it was like the one where Dean goes into a thing. I think it was Bugs, actually. They do rock, paper, scissors to who goes into the fucking hole.
Doesn't Sam go into the fucking hole, though?
Oh, no, that's different. They were supposed to do the rock, paper, scissors, and in the last minute, Sam goes, I'll just do it.
Aww.
And then there is one where, like...
Yeah, where Sam goes like, ha, scissors, every time.
I think this is such a nice thing to bring up. And with such, like, casualness,
yeah, no, it's like, wow, they are brothers.
In an episode where they have a new brother, you know? It's interesting. Like, in this scene, I had the thought of, like, yeah, like, there is more to family than, like, blood. It's about, like, you know, growing up together, blah, blah, blah. And then the other part of my brain got really defensive and was like, no, but, like, Adam really is their brother. Even if they didn't grow up together. Like, it still also does mean something that they had the same father, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it does, unless they decide it does.
Well, of course. But, like, to Sam and Dean, I think it does matter that there is this other aspect of John's life that they didn't have access to, and now they have access to. And there was this kid that John treated this way, in a way that he never treated Sam and Dean. Yeah, and, like, that does mean something.
It means something that they're both projecting on him.
It doesn't mean that it automatically makes them family in the way that Supernatural tries to do the family bit but fails so severely. I just mean that it means something.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they both have complicated feelings around Adam because of what he represents about themselves to them. Though, I mean, I do think that Sam is pretty fast willing to, like, welcome Adam in as, like, a member of the family or whatevs.
Yeah.
Dean loses the rock, paper, scissors. He's upset, but he goes inside of the air vent. At the end, he sees a lot of blood, and then, like, bits of, like, flesh and bone
hair
and stuff.
And Scalp, yeah.
Yep. R.I.P.
We go to Sam and Dean's motel room, and it's just the two of them. Dean is cleaning a weapon or whatever. And there is this really funny
post about Mystery Spot.
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
You haven't seen it? You think?
You reblogged it.
Well, yeah, but this is me.
And I didn't reblog it because I didn't like it.
But I thought it was the funniest shit. Which is the post is like, oh, people were attacking me when I said that Dean cleans all of the guns. And Sam girls were like, hey, Sam also cleans guns. And the only picture they would send is like from Mystery Spot when Dean was dead. So fucking funny. Well, Dean does clean the guns. Like, that is his job.
I'm sure that Sam also cleans the guns.
They need to have gun cleaning equality.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Adam comes into the motel room and he is asking Sam and Dean, like, who the hell are you guys? And Sam is trying to do the, like, calm down, like, calming down a horse kind of voice. And Dean is just straight up not talking. Adam is saying, like, oh, my house is a crime scene. My mom's probably dead. And you told me to call the cops, but also that you need to go before the cops show up.
If he had looked them up... I mean, this is a ghoul, so it doesn't matter. If this was real Adam and he had looked them up, like, he'd be out of here.
I mean, like, even John Winchester, if he looked John Winchester up.
Yeah, it's like, father of serial killers, Sam and Dean Winchester.
And he said, like, I also heard you talking about stuff earlier. What really is going on? And Sam just goes, like, we're hunters. And Dean is shouting at Sam to, stop talking. And Sam goes, he deserves to know, Dean. They explain it to him. Adam is like, so every, like, monster movie is real? Every nightmare? And Dean goes, Godzilla's just a movie. He wished it was real. Dean literally wishes Godzilla was real.
Are we calling him a monster fucker? What's happening?
No!
What does he want?
He would think... I just think he would think, like, a Godzilla is cool. The same way he was like, oh my god, vampires. We could kill a vampire. That's so cool.
You mean zombies?
Did he... Was that about zombies?
Yeah.
Wasn't he always like that with the vampires?
Maybe.
Well, whatever. Whenever they have a cool monster to hunt, Dino's like, oh, this monster is so cool. I can't wait to kill it. And I feel like he would feel the same way about Godzilla.
Yeah. Dean Winchester is a deeply strange individual.
I think you're the one who pointed out that, like, wait, but, like, he really likes the idea of this monster. Why does he want to kill it? And it's like, the thing that he really likes is the idea of killing it. That's why. Adam just goes like, okay, and Dean is in disbelief. Okay, here's the part where we bring up yet again, like, at this point, why do they need to hide it from Adam?
That they're hunters?
Yeah. And that all of this shit is real. Because, like, Adam's mom is
dead from this. So, like, this is the point during the hunt when they often tell... Well, they don't tell everybody. Like, plenty of people whose families die, like, they don't tell them what happened.
Yeah, but a lot of those people is, like, the monster has been dealt with and probably and, like, won't attack again or whatever. This monster is on the loose and they're just fucking leaving this town. Because that's what they're doing there right now. They're leaving this town.
Wait, they are?
Yeah, they're packing to leave.
Oh, they are?
Because the cops are gonna show up.
Well, no, I just thought they told Adam to call the cops to his house, so they're leaving the house so that they're not at the house when the cops showed up. I didn't think they were leaving permanently.
Okay. Well, I just still think it's, like, so odd that they just won't tell Adam when Adam is, like, in direct line of danger.
I mean, Dean has his whole thing later where he's like, John specifically wanted Adam to not know about monsters, so keeping that is more important than his safety.
There's a difference between becoming a knowing about... Well, there's a difference between that, too. But there's a difference between knowing about monsters and being a hunter. And Like, I think Dean's argument is more on Dad didn't want Adam to have this life.
But he was also, wasn't he also like Dad lied to him about his job so that like he wouldn't even know about monsters in the first place? Isn't that like part of it? I think that, I don't know, isn't Dean sort of under the impression that like anyone who's like worth a damn, as soon as they know about monsters, they will become a hunter? Like, isn't that sort of why he hates, but like it's why he hates Bella so much, that she knows about monsters but like she isn't a hunter, she like has this other job that hurts people.
Yeah, but I think that's more of like taking advantage of the stuff you know about the occult and the etc. and the supernatural, and using that to earn money to the expense of the people who could be helped by those knowledge. But like, for example, Adam is like, okay, I'm gonna become a doctor because I'm in pre-med already, and then becomes a doctor, and it's just like a fucking doctor. You don't have to be a hunter to help people.
But like, does Dean know that?
Well, we can't all just be fucking hunters, Dean and Chester, so I'm assuming he knows that.
Okay. I just think he has this weird thing.
Do you think he would think that? That, like, he's better than other people because of his job?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's a dick and I don't like him? I don't know.
I think it's because... I think Dean may have a more expansive definition of hunters than what I am thinking of it. Because, like... For Dean, it's like, oh, if you know about the supernatural and you're doing something in some way to help with accordance to that knowledge, then you're a hunter automatically. So maybe if Adam was like a doctor who is helping people who are like, you know, affected by monsters and stuff, like to him, like that's still a hunter because he knows about the supernatural.
Sure, yeah.
Like, a lot of times, Bobby doesn't do the type of shit Sam and Dean does. He mostly is on the back end doing research. He also
does do field work.
Yeah, but, like, most of the time, he's, like, doing the FBI,
yeah, Dean considers Bobby a hunter. I would consider
Dean considers Bobby a hunter. I would, too. But, like, is Rufus a hunter? Like, Rufus is specifically
Rufus is an ex-hunter.
Not doing the hunting shit anymore. Rufus is an ex-hunter, but Dean would still consider him a current hunter because of his knowledge. And because he's using that knowledge in some way to help by providing information and providing materials. I don't know, like Garth is, well, one, a werewolf, two, a dentist. But like Dean also considers him a hunter, even if he's not doing the hunter job specifically, just because of the knowledge. And I think I can go on and on. Jody's a cop.
Well, it's like,
and Dean thinks he's
like these
Dean
people do like an occasional hunt on the side if they're like, if something in their area seems up, right? So like that's what makes them a hunter to Dean, that they sometimes do field work, that they're like willing to do field work if necessary.
Yeah, but like Dean's complaint is like, we can't let Adam have the life we live. But the thing is, just because you're a hunter, well, just because you know about the supernatural doesn't mean you have to be a hunter. And just because you're a hunter doesn't mean you need to live the way Sam and Dean does. Bobby has a house. Jody has a house. Garth has a house. You know?
Wait, okay, well, Garth and Jody come later. Like, wait, what are we discussing now?
Like, Dean's perspective of what a hunter life is.
Yeah.
It's like not representative of all hunters. Hashtag not all hunters. I don't know. And so, like Dean's argument of like, we can't let Adam know about this because it automatically means that if he knows about the supernatural, then he's automatically a hunter. And if he's a hunter, then he's gonna have the same life we do. And Dad specifically doesn't want him to have the life that we do. And it's like, that's not an automatic. Like, just because he knows about the supernatural doesn't mean that he's going to become a hunter. And just because he's a hunter doesn't mean that he's going to live the life the way you do. And doesn't mean that he's going to hunt the way you do. And doesn't mean that he won't have another job that he also does.
That's true. But according to Sam, he can't have any friends.
According to Sam, it's a life. You have any life. He's so funny. I was half expecting him to say, like, it's not a job, it's a calling. And I was like, he should have been a priest. He literally should have been, probably. Sam would live such a fantastic life if he was a priest hunter.
Yeah.
I think he would have a slaycation moment.
Probably. But, okay, so you're just saying that Dean's logic here in trying to hide what hunting is from Adam is faulty. I agree.
Thank you. After 20 minutes of discussion.
It's just kind of... I thought that we were discussing... Because I said that, like, it's because Dean thinks that it means that, like, Adam would be a hunter, and then you were like, I don't think that that's what Dean thinks. So then when it became a different topic of discussion, I got confused.
Yeah, I think it's just, like, definition of terms is where Dean and I disagree. Like, okay. Dean, whatever. Yeah. At some point, Dean goes, like, oh, you're supposed to say we're liars, we're crazy. Nobody just says okay. And Adam, who is a ghoul? Like, I want to point out that this is not Adam, because, well, you're my brothers. You're telling me the truth, right? Then I believe you. And it's like, he's so funny.
He really is.
He's so funny. Absolutely hilarious. Sam, like, talks about, like, what fucking thing got his mom and that they haven't figured it out yet. And Adam asks if maybe she's still alive, and they say no, probably. Oh no, they actually don't say anything, which we've talked about this, how annoying it is that, like, when they're breaking news, like, they just do not say shit. Adam says that he wants in. Yeah, Dean says no, and, like, Sam goes, Dean, he lost his mother. Maybe we can understand what that feels like. And Dean makes the case, as you said, that, like, oh, John was protecting this kid. He didn't want Adam to have our lives.
He says, why do you think he ripped out the pages as part of this? Yeah. What? Okay, is that in fitting with your, like, he ripped it out before he gave it to Dean theory? Like, does Dean think he tried to hide this kid from us so that we couldn't pull him into our lives? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, probably.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting stuff. So, Dean thinks that John thinks that Sam and Dean would come and force this kid to be a hunter?
Not really, but, like, it's a connection. And, like, for example, if like, John was missing and John was gone for a long time, and John, like, knew he was gonna be gone for a long time because he was ominous as hell about it. And so maybe he's thinking, oh, if Dean, like, scours this journal and finds this one piece and goes, like, what if Dad had a kid from that time, and goes to that place and finds out about, you know, and it's like,
yeah, so Adam then gets caught
because he's looking for John.
I need to find my dad too, blah 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 thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dean just goes around the United States finding potential John kids going, hey, I know your dad, and also he's missing. Help me find him.
I mean, society if Sam said no that first time, so then Dean was just going around, like, rustling all the atoms of the world up.
Adam asks, like, do I get a say in this? And Sam and Dean both say no at the same time, but, like, Dean being, like, shouty, and Sam's, like, defeated, like, no. And Dean storms out. And Adam goes, is he always like that? And Sam goes, welcome to the family. And then he goes to teach Adam how to handle a gun. I do want to say something about the whole, like, Adam probably never had an angry John around.
Yeah.
Because John was just never around and was never in any situation where he is to be angry in that way around Adam.
Though, I don't, like, have you ever had your dad try to teach you something? You get yelled at no matter what. Like, I'm sure during the pool, that I don't think John is that patient of a guy. John shouts at people. I don't think he has the patience to teach Adam poker and pool. But I also think that the ghoul fully made that up, so...
Well, I don't think the ghoul made
the baseball game is real, but I'm remembering that when they bring Adam back to life, and they're like, please do this because of our shared connection to John, he says, I did not know that guy like that.
Yeah, and he said, right, like, I'm not a Winchester, I'm a Milligan, which is so cool. Yeah. I love that guy.
So, like...
Or did he say that? Or did he say that in my head, in my fan
He probably
dreams?
said that in real life.
Okay. Good,
so,
good.
like...
In real life, aka supernatural.
Yeah. So, like, I think that the school could have fully made up the pool and the poker. Or it was probably just, like, John tried to teach him and then got frustrated, like, after 5 minutes and then gave up. When, like, specifically the Sam and Adam conversation at the end is, like, Sam decides to start teaching Adam how to shoot, and Adam goes, Dean said... Which means that he's already, like, doing the, like, I think Dean is the boss of this family thing. F. Dean's energy really is that rancid. Sam has his whole, like, I know what Dean said, but I also know what it's like to want revenge, etc., etc. Like, he really is just projecting all over this guy. Good for him. In the cemetery... Dean's disguised as an FBI person asking around about the missing bodies, and he's being given a tour by the cemetery director. This cemetery director, like, is sort of creepy. Like, I thought he was gonna turn on Dean at some point, but, like, no, he's just like this. Like, he asks, tell me, Agent Nugent, have you thought about where you might like to spend eternity? And it literally is just him trying to sell a cemetery plot. It is not a threat or anything.
Iconic.
Yeah, this is a true professional.
Yeah, this is not a job. It's a life.
Yeah, and Dean notices that one of the areas where a body was stolen, there's this liquid that's spilled that is not blood, it's embalming fluid, which means that whoever took the corpses also opened them up. Dean's next recon is that he goes to the bar where Joe Barton worked, and there's a bartender there who says that the first beer is free for cops and feds. Boo. So Dean asks her about Joe Barton, and she introduces herself as his wife. Dean finds out during this conversation that Joe Barton was a cop briefly a long time ago, and he was involved in the grave robbery case that happened in 1990. He was supposedly the one who found the bodies, and apparently, like, the version of the story he told his wife was that he had a little help from a specialist, and even though they never found who stole the bodies, Joe said, we took care of what done it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Men love to be ominous and not tell their wives things.
The way this is delivered is she's like... It doesn't feel
no,
like...
No, it feels like, oh, we found who it was and we killed them.
No. I mean, like, the way she delivers this doesn't feel like, you know, like... She's talking about a story that her missing husband told her. It's like, oh, I overheard, you know? Like, that's the vibe of the conversation.
That's true.
Which does make it, like, disconcerting to me because it's like...
Yeah, she should be worried.
Like, if my significant other, like, comes home... Well, first of all, I'm never gonna be involved with a cop in this. Yeah. But, like... If like somebody comes home and it's like, oh yeah, there was this really, really rough thing that happened, but don't worry, we took care of what done it. I'll be like, that is absolutely fucking terrifying. What are you talking about? Yeah. And I wouldn't be telling it to, well, strangers. I mean, I guess she thinks this is a Fed who's investigating the case, but like, I wouldn't be telling it to people and like, haha, isn't it so funny that he said that? I'll be like, what if my husband is a fucking serial killer? Yeah. Like, what if he did it? I don't know.
Hey, guess what Sam's doing in this scene?
But he's teaching someone to
guess what Sam is doing in this scene, Gray, and also whoever posted that fucking Tumblr post? I wonder what action... Okay, you have two guesses, but it rhymes with means a mott gun. Sam's cleaning a gun. So, Sam and Adam are talking, while Sam, again, is cleaning a gun.
because it's like, they just said, like, Dean is always cleaning the gun, and everyone was like, no, Sam's cleaning the guns too. Here's a mystery. Like, it's your duty as a Sam girl to know your Sam lore.
Well, I think that probably that person picked and chose. I think that there was cherry picking in that academic paper. I think that peer review should have caught it.
Exactly. And Supernatural, above all else, is an academic endeavor.
Yes. Okay, to clarify, I'm not actually mad at whoever posted that. But yeah. So, Adam asks Sam how John really died. Every time I say John in this episode, they are saying dad. Just so you know, but I refuse to say that.
And I will say it forever and ever.
Sam says it was a demon. Adam asks, did you hunt it down? Did you get revenge? And Sam says, Dean killed it. So Adam says, so it's over for you. And Sam looks at Adam dramatically and goes, it's never over.
It's never over. That's literally a Katy Perry song.
I mean, like, this life isn't over for him because, like, there's the fucking apocalypse, but, like, does he view anything he's doing right now as, like, getting revenge for Mary or for John? What does this mean?
I don't know.
For Jess, too? Like,
I mean, I guess at this point, it's like getting revenge for Dean, but he's not acting that way about it.
yeah.
And I suppose that's the point. The point is that getting revenge is not really about the person you're getting revenge for. It's about yourself. Mm-hmm. And Sam's not there yet, though, so...
The lights go out, and then there's sounds about Sam, like, he gets his gun, and he just swings it about wildly. Like, I don't know, he's making very fast jerking motions with it. It looked silly.
He is so funny in this scene. It's so goofy. It's so silly looking. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because Sam has done this thing, like, multiple times before, but this is the only one where I'm like, oh, that's Jared who's acting in there.
Yeah, this is noticeably weird. Are they trying to show that he's more nervous than usual because he's, like, protecting someone who he's decided to care about very quickly?
I don't know. Did he not care about literally anyone else?
Supernatural puts a lot of emphasis on family, and he's very used to hunting with
Boo!
Dean already,
Yeah.
so he probably would
suppose
trust
so.
that Dean can hold his own in a situation like this. But, like, Adam
Pamela!
Yeah.
Was he this nervous with Pamela? Or I guess that was
he
more
would
like
care
the
more
danger
about-
was already there,
Yeah.
so it's not
She already
like
got stabbed.
looking out for danger. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a vent near the ceiling that Sam thinks that the monster is in. They run out of the motel to Adam's car. Sam's about to get in the car. He, like, makes Adam give him the keys, and while he's approaching the car...
Why even?
I don't know, like, he just doesn't trust Adam's driving. Like, you don't know this car, Sam. All you've driven is the, like, fucking Impala and that one rental car that one time.
Yeah, and also, like, this is a much bigger car than either of those. And the size of the car does affect how you drive it. So, like, whatever. Also, I'm not sure that's true. I heard it from literally everybody else in my life who drives, because I don't drive.
I think that's true. But as Sam approaches the car, something underneath it grabs his ankle. Okay, while Sam
Grabs his yankle.
While Sam approaches the car...
Sorry.
You're preventing me from... this is to prevent me from, like, being able to re-say it so that you can edit it to make it sound like I said it right the whole time. You're trying to force grabs his ankle into the podcast so everyone knows that I said that.
For real. Well, he does grab his ankle.
Fine. You know what? At this point, it's too late. He grabs his fucking ankle.
Well, I suppose the whole bit with the exchanging keys is more of like making sure that like Sam is the one who gets grabbed and not Adam.
Yeah. That is
Because like
what it is.
obviously the person's gonna grab the person who's like entering the seat. It's just so contrived the way they get there.
Sam gets pulled under the car, but he manages to keep himself upright overall. Dean comes running back as well, so he and Adam both pull Sam free. When they move the truck, it is shown that there was a sewer grate that is open underneath, so that's where the monster came out of. They discuss a little bit about the attack that just happened. They will not be able to find the monster in the sewers. Sam and Dean figure out that who it's been going after are Joe Barton, Kate Milligan, and this was a trap for Adam, which means that the monster is going after people who are related to John and, like, the time that he did a case in this town.
Yeah.
Dean goes, at least we know why it's back, and Adam goes, it wants revenge. So true, Ghoul Guy. Love you.
I know. I mean, what I find, like, then most of that back end of that conversation of Sam and Dean is actually, like, seen, like, with Adam in front. Mm-hmm. Like, Adam is, like, in profile while Sam and Dean are talking about this. And it's just, I'm thinking about this from, like, the ghoul's perspective, right? Mm-hmm. Of, like, Sam and Dean are doing all this, saying all this, and, like, they're finally figuring out why all of this is happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he wants revenge.
Yeah. He's, like, telling Sam and Dean, oh, I'm doing this for revenge for my mom. And it is him doing revenge for his dad.
For his dad. Wonderful. We go back to the mom's house, right? They do this thing where they let Adam just go upstairs by himself. Stupid move. Why are they doing this? Like, we just established that the ghoul is out to get him.
I don't know.
Why are you leaving him alone at any given opportunity? But, like, Dean is saying that, like, oh, Adam needs to pack up so they can hit the road. And Sam is just like, no, we shouldn't. And also, he's on the kitchen. He's seated down and he's propping up his foot to the other seat. And at this moment, I didn't realize that he was doing it because he's injured. So I was just like, oh, he's making himself feel at home. And I was like, go, Sam.
Go, Sam.
But yeah, Dean is saying that they need to drop the kid off at Bobby's. Yeah, and then Sam and Dean are gonna kill this whatever this thing is. I do find it interesting that Dean calls the kid the kid.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing it much of this episode also.
I've also been calling Adam the kid. I mean, he's a college student, so he feels like a kid. Is.
Sam is just there, lounging around, going, yeah, well, we got no leads, no anything. And what we do have is what this thing wants. And Dean is like, oh, you want to use the kid as bait? That's why you want to stay here, and he gets, upset about it. He could die. Sam is like, no, but we can train Adam, blah, blah, blah. And we could all die. And, like, even if we... Sam is so funny, honestly. What if the kid dies? Well, we're all gonna die anyway. Like, it's so true.
Yeah, he listened to Memento Mori recently, and he was like, that's a great point, Willwood.
He was like, thanks, Willwood.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the point is that with the apocalypse upcoming, like, he's not really betting on longevity for anybody, so he's more willing to do this. Okay, also, didn't Dean ask, like, a literal 10-year-old to be bait in something Wicked 118? Didn't that happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but to be fair to that one, I think it is different when it's like, if we get rid of this, we can save your brother or whatever. Is that true? Or is that not true?
Yeah.
Is that a lie?
Yeah, his brother's sick in the hospital.
It's different when it's to save a life versus when it's
just to kill,
like, you are the target.
The ghoul.
And yeah.
Because as far as we know, like, she doesn't want anything other than just to get Adam and then, like, go back to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know.
I suppose.
So that,
though, I mean, they still don't know who it is, and they still aren't sure. I guess they still don't know for sure that, like, the ghoul would stop killing afterwards.
You know what I thought of when you said that is that Dean was used as bait in Something Wicked when they were kids. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, no.
You did gaff about that.
Yeah. I mean, Sam was bait. Mostly.
Sam was bait, yeah.
Dean was there to kill the Streaka. Sam was the bait.
Yeah. In this scene, Sam is basically being like, Adam can both be the Sam and the Dean. Yeah. Like, he could be the bait and he can also kill the thing. Like, good for him, honestly. And I mean, of course, it's different because Sam and Dean were like small children.
Yeah.
Versus Adam now, who is, 20-year-old minor or whatever.
I still think it's, like, not a great suggestion because, yeah, like we said, like, if we're, like, pretty sure that, like, the ghoul only wants to kill Adam, then, like, just get Adam out of here and call it a day. Like, it's a revenge-driven thing only, I guess, is the point, which is why it feels worse than the Streaka in Something Wicked.
I mean, the thing about Sam and Dean is every single time there's something else, someone else on screen, it's a projection material. And in that episode, it was like Dean was projecting to the kid, like the part of him that wanted to take care of Sam.
Yeah, like I couldn't save Sam back then, so now once this kid is used as bait, he'll be so happy that he helped save his brother.
Yeah, and here the thing that Dean is projecting is his desire to not have to have gone through all that shit, you know? If we're looking at it from like what are Sam and Dean's moral stances in these situations, and it's like they're deriving from their own experiences and from different facets of those experiences. And that's why this is how it is.
Right. What is Sam projecting specifically here? Just like, I mean, he is on his like dad was right kick right now.
Revenge.
Yeah.
It's the revenge is the big one, I feel like.
Yeah, like Adam should have a chance to kill the thing that killed his mom. Cause I mean, Sam didn't get to kill Azazel, and then Dean got the nod of approval from John, who completely walked past Sam and then went to heaven. So
it's so funny. Every time we bring that up, we just go, what the fuck were they doing there? But seriously, what the fuck was that?
And then they still tried to claim that Kevin couldn't go to heaven.
And like the thing is, like, I don't know if I said this in the podcast or maybe I said a completely different thing, but that was like one of those things where you just forget it happens.
Yeah.
And so every time it happens, you're like completely shocked to your core. Like, what the fuck is this? I completely forgot about this. And you forget it because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But now I remember it because it's so
funny
stupid.
As fuck, though. Because I feel like every time people are mad about the Kevin thing, they're like, that's not true, because, like, John's, like, mentioned to be in heaven in the finale, and it's like, well, no, that's not true, because John in season 2 went to fucking heaven.
Yeah. No, because you can make the argument that, like, in season 15, they already changed, like, the heaven deal. So, like, now Kevin can go to heaven, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, no, in season 2, they did it. So, did something change between season 2 and the beginning of season 15?
Maybe so.
I don't know. Maybe so.
But, yeah.
Perhaps. Perchance, even. Yeah, Sam keeps on going. He says, even if we do kill this thing, there are tons of other freaks that want revenge on Dad and on us.
He says,
so, like,
freaks.
What if they find the kid instead and he's not ready? And so his point here is like, I suppose we have to prepare him because he already is in the life no matter what.
Yeah. Like
the argument that we can't bring him into the life doesn't work when whether we bring him in or not, he's already in.
Yeah, okay. So about the use of the word freaks, like obviously that's a very charged word for Sam.
Yeah, he's a sick bitch.
Oh, he likes freak sex.
I mean, other than that, he also does like say, you know, stuff about being a freak and etc.
Yeah, doesn't he go like, isn't that what causes him to break an after school special?
I'm
and,
a
like,
whole new level of freak.
Yeah, no, but also isn't that what causes him to like beat up Dirk so hard is being called a freak? Does he also punch Dean at some point because he gets called a freak by him? Freak in Supernatural is used as a substitution slur for something. So, the fact that Sam is saying it now, I think part of it is just that he's trying to distance himself from monsterhood really hard, and part of that means cosplaying, like, the big, strong hunter, like John, like Dean, sometimes when he's pretending. So, like, that's part of that word choice. It is interesting that he's, because what I thought, well, we could all die is about, the apocalypse is happening. But no, he's, specifically there are things that want to kill us and John, who is already dead. When was the last time anyone wanted revenge on Sam and Dean?
Meg, but that's a different thing, I feel.
That's true, but that was in season 2.
Who is getting revenge on Sam and Dean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like Jenny, but that comes later. Jenny is a later revenge. So it was true. Somebody was coming to get on them for revenge reasons.
Yeah.
Sam was right.
God, that's so funny. It's so funny that they did that.
Episode. And the fact that it's like, hey, Jenny, and we're supposed to know who the fuck that is when they never mentioned that name in the episode she was in. Okay, slay.
It's great.
Supernatural is so unserious.
Yeah. Okay, so part of the projecting is that Sam wishes that he could have revenge more than he does. And also, what if they find the kid instead and he's not ready? Is that something that Sam's just saying, or is that a strong belief that he holds?
I think he does not gaff about this. He's just saying shit.
Yeah, because I guess there is something to be said about Jessica died because he thought that he was safe, but Azazel found him anyway. He'd let his guard down and all that shit by that point. Adam is currently in college studying pre-med. So, I think that he could definitely be projecting a lot of his Stanford self onto Adam and, finding his Stanford self weak and lacking in the current mindset he's in. But yeah, I don't know. They really do not mention Jess in this show. Isn't there, a scene in, season, 12 or some shit where Sam's and I still think about Jessica every day, and it's well, that's nice. I wish this was shown in any way.
Does he say that in season 12?
I don't know. There's a later season thing where he does say that he still thinks about Jess a lot.
And he does, I think that's true, and I think he does say Jessica, which I don't know.
That's different. That's not the person he knew. That's just the event.
I think it's also just when you're talking to someone who didn't know her, it's it's easier to use the more formal names. Blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm completely lying. Maybe this is just completely untrue.
Well, we'll find out in 5 years or so.
We'll find out. As Sam is saying all this shit, Adam comes in. He goes, I'll do it. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. I want to do it.
Slay.
And Sam does have kind of a look. I mean, I suppose it's a bit shameful to be heard saying
exactly.
I want to use you as bait. Yeah, but he's not too ashamed.
Mm-hmm. Sam's teaching Adam how to shoot outside. He's spray painted a target on a no trespassing sign, which is, Sam should have an Instagram, I think. He does a good job with his 3 shots, and then Adam has a go, and he does a pretty good job. All of them hit the sign, and 2 of them are inside, the inside circle and everything. Meanwhile, Dean is standing, several long feet away, shaking his head disapprovingly at all of this. Sam's, clapping Adam on the back and complimenting him and everything. I guess Sam's never really gotten to teach anyone anything. So, now that he has, a younger brother, it's, nice.
I think I've said this before in the podcast, but there is something to say about how Sam, when you see him outside of the Sam and Dean dynamic, is a leader type. Mm-hmm. He likes to teach, he likes to impart knowledge in this way, when the season 13 bit happens, he was the leader of that whole gang. But when he is with Dean, which is he is most of the time just with Dean, he becomes the smaller person, the little brother, the one who follows orders, and the one who, like, if he is to not follow orders, it needs to be a whole thing instead of just something that he does. I think for Sam, there is some gratification in having someone like look up to you in this way and be able to teach them in this way. Like, he can flex his like leadership skills. He can flex his big brother skills.
Happy for him.
Happy for him. Sorry, he's a ghoul.
Yeah, no, when at the end when Sam was like, why don't we ask Cass to bring him back? He was just like, I really want to teach someone shooting again.
He was like, I thought I was out of this, like, having to deal with Dean by myself this whole time. Now I'm going to, this is so miserable. He was really looking forward to having Adam in the backseat.
Yeah, truly. Inside of the Milligan house, Sam's doing some reading and also telling Adam stories about hunts and things. And Adam's so impressed at like, oh, you used a homemade flamethrower? And Sam's like, yeah, they're easy to build. I'll show you. He is thriving. He's having a good time. And then he starts being such a guy. Adam goes, oh, God. That is some job you got, man. And Sam goes, being a hunter isn't a job, Adam. It's life. Not even it's a life, just it's life. Like, ball is life levels of sentence here.
He literally says ball is life, but for hunting,
Yeah, and he goes, you're pre-med, you got a girlfriend, friends? And Adam nods, and Sam goes, not anymore, you don't. Hilarious.
Sam said, break up with your girlfriend, we're going hunting.
God, like,
he's so
Adam agreed to be bait on one case. Like, are we really here?
It's crazy because it's not like, I don't think Adam is like, I'm going to become a hunter forever and ever. He's just like, I want to do this thing because
my mom, so I want to be in on this.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, okay, well, quit school, break up with your girlfriend, let's go.
Sam says that's the price we pay. And I keep on thinking, but like, for what? Like, what do you buy?
Like, a miserable life. The satisfaction of saving people.
Right? Saving people. But like, I don't know, it's just, dude, is it worth it? Does the price you pay?
Wow, are you really so arrogant to think your life above the 6 billion other people on this planet, or whatever the fuck Lilith said?
And Sam later was like, yeah. God. Because, again, they do not acknowledge its terrible life like it's an episode that ever happened. And in that episode, like, Sam, without all of the burden of knowing what hunting is like, without knowing all of the whatever, still wants to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, even without the context of his childhood, anything, he wants to do it. I don't know. I feel like this is such a... If Sam thinks of it in that way, I don't know. Again, we're asking, like, what's the price to pay for what? And it's like, Sam answers it in that, like, episode, kind of. Like, oh, we can do this because it's, like, adrenaline, blah, blah, blah. But also, it's something that he was built to do. Like, something... he was made to do.
And also that, like, they could help people a lot is something he mentions also.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. For Sam, it's like, yeah, that's the price you pay. Because you feel like it's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. But, like, do you think that kind of argument, like, works for someone like Adam? You know? Adam wasn't raised into this. Adam doesn't have the proclivity to it or whatever.
Sam's current era is fairly biodeterministic, I think.
Yeah.
So it could just be
Yeah.
like, you're John's child, you're a Winchester, and therefore...
Yeah, but they also know that Mary is a hunter, and they know for a fact that Mary came from a hunter family, and they know, well, not for a fact, but like Dean thinks John didn't come from a hunter family. And in a way, John really did not come from a hunter family, because his dad was not a hunter. He's a man of leather, and also he wasn't raised by his dad. Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like this conversation is just... It would have gone differently if Sam remembered that shit. But what the fuck?
Yeah, well, what Sam says after, not anymore, you don't, is, if you're really gonna do this, you can't have those kinds of connections ever. They're weaknesses. You'll just put those people in danger, get them killed. Which, I mean, I guess is why I think of Jess. Like, you're in college, do you have a girlfriend? Well, you're gonna get her killed. God, he's being so dramatic, though. Like, only a ghoul would sit and nod along to this shit. But, like, Sam's just, like, so far into whatever he's far into that, like, he's not realizing.
Like, if this was really Adam would have said, dude, unclench. And Sam would be like, oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, and, you know, Sam has the price we pay line, and he says there's only one thing you can count on. Family.
Horrible.
Right, and this is all very laughable, but then, like, Dean pulls Sam aside, and goes,
okay, we're here.
Like, hey, what the fuck was that about? Dad gave you that exact same speech, remember? It was just before you ditched us for Stanford. Which, yeah, that's crazy. Well, okay, it was just before you ditched us for Stanford. Does this mean, like, this was during the Stanford fight? Or does Dean mean, like, I think this is part of what prompted you to take the offer?
Yeah.
The second one?
It's what prompted to, like, have the fight.
So it was during the fight and not, like, during Sam's acceptance of the offer, you think?
No, I mean, like, this is what prompted the fight.
Right, okay. So, Sam said, I'm going to Stanford. John said, no, you can't. And then they had the fight. Is the timeline.
I feel like if it was, like, during the fight itself, or even close to that fight in that way, Dean would say, like, this, like, that's what Dad said when you went to Stanford or whatever.
Wait, what? Right before you ditched us for Stanford is, like, that's not very, like, that's just the source.com rendition. That's a thesaurus.com rendition of what you just said.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this means, like, a couple weeks before or, like, a couple months before.
Just before is pretty, yeah.
Yes.
Also, okay, I guess quick note that it's still insane that Dean says ditched us for Stanford when John was literally the one who said if you leave you can never ever come back. Like, wow, Dean is still a shithead about this. Good to know.
Because the speech is, if you're going to be a real hunter, you need to get rid of everything else in your life. Because and like the only real person in your life you can count on is your family. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's not really indirect with the Stanford. Because if the argument is you cannot have a life outside of hunting if you're gonna be a hunter, that's not really something you say to someone who's going, I think I'm gonna leave hunting.
Well, no, I mean, maybe it was just like, I think that I want to go to Stanford, but that doesn't mean I'm, like, leaving you guys. And it's like, no, it's all or nothing.
I just do not see it as, like, a direct, like, thing with the fight.
Okay.
Like, this is more of, like, John says this, and then Sam is in, like, hearing this brewing. And then being like, actually, I don't agree.
I think that makes sense as an interpretation. Yeah, so then Dean says, you hated Dad for saying that stuff, and now you're quoting him? Sam says, yeah, well, turns out Dad was right. Dean asks, since when? And Sam says, since always. Dean, when I look at Adam, You know what I see? Dean says, a normal kid. And Sam says, no, meat. Because to the demons and monsters out there, that's all he is. I hated Dad for a long time, I did. But now I think I understand. So we didn't have a dog and a white picket fence. So what? Dad did right by us. He taught us how to protect ourselves. Adam deserves the same.
This is what I mean when in like the conversation starts being about like what one deserves. Mm-hmm. What a crazy way to look at any of this is like something that is deserved or whatever.
Yeah. Sam also says he deserves to know when he starts telling Adam about hunting. I feel like that felt like as a member of our family, he should have like truthfulness from us. Yeah, no, because the thing is, the argument is like, cut off all of your family and cut off all of your friends and everyone you love, etc. And like, Sam is conflating that with being given the ways and the knowledge to protect yourself. Oh, Sam.
I think that does speak to something that like Sam thinks protecting yourself includes protecting yourself from all the emotional harm that being attached to other people who may die or be hurt can cause you.
Yeah, I mean, we do see that progression in like the women he sleeps with.
Yeah.
Sarah, like, he goes back and kisses her, like, he stays for a bit. Madison he has to kill. And then with Kara, like, Dean's like, you gonna stop by and say goodbye, and Sam's like, what's the point? No.
It is like, for me, I look at this and I think, Sam does solemnly think that he's doing these people a favor. Like, I am not, like, involving myself with you, or if I'm involved with you already, I'm cutting you off to make you safe. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know, he fails to see that a lot of it is, like, himself. Like, a lot of it is, like, a self-preservation thing for himself.
Yeah. Obviously, the Sam saying, like, meat, because that's how the demons and monsters out there see him, is, like, another, like, sneaky little... Because Sam's turning into a monster, so he has that POV now thing, which goes with what you were saying about, like, their point with the ghouls and you are what you eat, etc. Yeah, also, I think it's he says, but now I think I understand. So when was the turning point? Because the way that's phrased is kind of like, on this case, I grew to understand, which is interesting. Because, like, I feel like he was already sort of on the John was right train in season 2. But then, like, he says now. And I guess that's just, like, because, like, this is, again, as we said, like, this is the first time he's been in, like, a position of, like, older brother-esque. And, like, I feel like he's taking on a bit of a paternal role with Adam. So now he's like, oh, like, as that kind of, like, now that I'm in that kind of a role regarding Adam, it's like, what John did as a father, I think, is, in fact, what I would do as a father. Which is certainly a thing to realize about yourself and then not even feel conflicted over because you're having a real fucked in the head season.
I think part of what Sam is trying to say here is that, like, Dad taught us to protect ourselves, and for Adam that extends to, if Dad like taught Adam how to protect himself, he would have also been able to protect his mom.
Yeah.
And then he didn't, and so his mom is dead now, and that's like a result of John hiding this shit from him.
Yeah, but I guess it's like he wouldn't even have gone to college if Dad taught him to protect himself.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, that's a really sad perspective to have, because it's like, like protecting yourself and being a hunter means protecting the people around you, but also it means that you should never like love the people around you much, just in case they disappear, just in case like your love is what causes them to die.
Yeah. Dean says, listen to yourself, man. And Sam says, you think I'm wrong? Dean says, I think it's too late for us. This is our life. This is who we are, okay? And it's fine. I accept that. But with Adam, he's still got a chance. He can go to school. He could be a doctor. And Sam goes, what makes Adam so special? And Dean goes, are you jealous of the kid? And Sam goes, are you? I mean, the answer to both of those are yes, I believe.
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that really got to me here is the like, it's too late for us. This is our life. This is who we are. And especially in an episode where Dean is so portrayed as like the angry man in the trio, right? The thing with Dean is just so many of the things that he does, like being angry, always, you know, like just all of the shit. He just always thinks like, well, that's just how it is because it's too late to change now. Like, this is just who I am now, and I cannot improve or whatever because it's just how it is. The way that he says it is like, I accept that, and he frames it as kind of like a positive thing, almost, the acceptance, and not a sign of defeat. He won't fight back against having like an existence that is unsatisfying for him anymore because he has accepted it and thinks of the acceptance as a good thing. He literally heard like, I don't know, desire is the last illusion, give it up and you will be free. And he was like, that's true. And then just did not interface with it in any way, like meaningful.
Good for him. Sam says, Dean, all this, it's not real. Succession core. The dad Adam knew, he wasn't real. The things out there in the shadows, they are real. The world is coming to an end. That's real. Everything else is just part of the crap people tell themselves to get through the day. Man, Sam is going through it.
This is the kind of shit you start thinking when you're really, really depressed, you know?
Yeah.
That, like, nothing else is real aside from the miseries of the world.
Yeah. Friends aren't real, love isn't real, only family is real, and family is obligation and hiding and yelling at each other.
The thing is, like, that Adam knew he wasn't real. And it's like, he was real to Adam. Yeah. Like, that was really John who was really talking
was there.
To Adam.
He said all those things.
He said all those things. And it's like, I mean, why? It's because he was hiding an aspect of his life from Adam. John was also hiding Adam from you. That's also an aspect of his life. Was he not real because he was hiding that part to you? The things out there in the shadows, they are real. It's true. The world is coming to an end. That's real. Also true. But like, Sam's like perspective of, and those are the only things that are real in the world ever.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I suppose if you live your life every single day thinking of fighting what's out there in the shadows, or like you for the last few months of your life, or maybe a year even, you just wake up and go, yeah, and the apocalypse is coming, and if I don't stop it, it's over. The world is gonna end. Like, of course, that's the only thing that's gonna be on your mind.
Yeah. You're gonna see everyone else as mindless sheeple who don't know the truth or whatever.
But also, like, let's say this is all true. Adam's not gonna change that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like maybe Adam does become a hunter and then hunts, and it's like changes, like, I don't know, hunts a few stuff and saves a few lives. Okay, great. The world is still coming to an end. Like, just let the kid live. I don't know. Like,
yeah, but I think Sam just wants to pull someone else into the misery, and like,
of course,
Adam being John's son is like an excuse to do so, because he probably couldn't justify doing that to anyone else. But it's like, we're all part of the same sick club. Well, get in. But also, like, he does find joy in like having Adam be enthusiastic about the cases and like teaching him how to use a gun and stuff. It's not all like bullshit, but it is just like, the only people that it's safe to, like, have an emotional connection to is your family, because, like, that's already, like, built in or something, so, like, you're allowed to have fun with your family and be friends with, like, people in your family, but, like, with no one else, I guess is the point of that.
Yeah. I think a part of it is the voluntary versus obligatory. Mm-hmm. Well, if your family member dies, like, no matter how much you don't like them, you're still going to feel some semblance of a complicated emotion. You know, like, there's still going to be something there just by virtue of, this is a person who is tied to me in a way that I cannot untie. With friendship, it's just it's a different thing. And so with I think there is more, like, it's easier almost to, like, allow yourself to connect with your family because it's, like, the leap from, like, familial connection to personal connection is shorter than no connection to personal connection, which is what friendship is. Sam is so fucking sick in the head this season.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam.
Dean's next line is the one that I was like, oh. He says, Dad didn't have a choice with us, okay? But with Adam, he did, and Adam doesn't have to be cursed. Horrible. I mean, like, Dean really thinks, like, this is the only way it could have gone.
Yeah,
like,
what? Because John needed... Because, like, Mary died, so John just needed to get revenge, and because they're all, like, Mary's kids as well as John's kids, they just, like, had to be part of it? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked.
Like, no, for Dean, there was no other option. Like, I think about, like, how throughout the rest of this show, Dean will have moments where he goes, yeah, what Dad did was fucked up. Like, that was actually pretty messed up, or that was actually pretty horrible, that actually traumatized me. But in his head, it's like, but it's all justified. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't like there could have been an action or an outcome that was good. You know, like, acknowledging that something is bad only goes so far. You also have to, like, I don't know, I guess for Dean, like, he also needs to acknowledge that there was a way to do that wasn't bad. Because that is also the kind of logic then that Dean applies to himself. He's always guilty that he's so angry. He's always guilty that he did this thing and that thing and whatever. But he never actually does anything to change because he applies the same
I
logic
wish
to himself.
I wasn't like this, but it's just, yeah, I wish.
But I am.
Yeah.
And it's like, but there is a version of this story where you're not the angry man in the house, you know? And he just never realizes. He never fucking realizes.
Yeah.
And when he does, he he dies of tetanus. Hell yeah.
Did he realize?
I mean, at some point he was like, that's not who I am, when he self-actualizes a liar.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because Cass gave him a big, beautiful speech that was completely untrue. And then he remembered it.
No, I mean, also, like, the prayer scene. I feel like that is, like, okay, I'm acknowledging it now, and that, like, yeah, of course you don't, because
I didn't see it, yeah. A prayer to who?
To Cass.
After Cass died?
No,
you mean in 1509, whatever.
True. He does say there that, like, I did this because it was easier. And, like, I think there's still ways to go for Dean, but, like, I think acknowledging that, like, he didn't, like, let Cass go because it was the only way that it could have gone. Like, Cass didn't leave because that's just what Cass does. He left specifically because Dean did something and was afraid to do the right thing. That is an acknowledgement that, like, and that would have gone differently if I did what was harder but right. And then he dies a couple episodes later. He's slay.
Yeah, Sam says he's a Winchester. He's already cursed. Oh, Sam.
Boo.
I'm really glad that when Sam finally parents Jack, he's good at it. It's different. Like, I'm glad that season 4 Sam is not where Sam ends up.
I mean, like, here's the, he's a Winchester, he's already cursed, and I, in my head, go, he's not even a Winchester, he's a Milligan.
So whatever's hunting Adam, I'm just gonna find it and kill it, and then it'll all be fine, and then he heads out to do just that.
And where he ends up is back to the tomb he was looking at earlier, and this time he sees this fucking tunnel that's just covered by a giant stone. He goes in there, goes into the tunnel, and ends up in this big, like, cavern? Is that a term? Whatever. There's just this giant, like, underground room. He looks around, there's bodies, like, there's, like, skeletons and stuff. And he sees one that, like, he recognizes as Joe from the bar. He hears stuff in the tunnel scuttling around. Oh no! Meanwhile, in the house where Sam is putting Adam up for bait, they close up every single like panel, every single vent. And so if the being is going to arrive, it's just going to be there. And then suddenly a woman is going like, Adam, Adam. And Adam realizes that it's his mom. So he goes to him, and Sam is pointing at Kate. And she's going like, look, they took me, but I got away, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, as Crystal said earlier, Adam gets the gun away from Sam.
Yeah, because Sam's like he's aiming the shotgun at Kate.
Yeah.
And Adam taking it is like, don't shoot my mom sort of situation, I think.
There's also like a fun part where like Sam is going like, you listen to me, and Kate is going like, no, you listen to me, which is pretty funny. Adam eventually points the gun at his mom, and Sam is just going, just shoot him, Adam, just shoot him, just shoot him.
He says shoot it, it's not human, which is a very season 4 Sam thing, I think.
Love that. That's not your mother. Well, it's not mother.
Yeah.
And Adam just looks at Sam and does a little sicko smile and goes, I know. And then hits Sam in the head.
Oh, yeah.
And, Sam's collapse on the ground. As this is happening, by the way, Dean is like opening up this coffin, and then he sees Kate in there, and he's like, oh, she's dead for real, for real. And so we also know that, like, that is definitely not Kate anymore, because the body is here, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then the moment Adam headbutts Sam with the shotgun. So that's not a headbutt. Well, whatever. He butts with the shotgun. Dean opens the, like, coffin beside the Kate one, and Adam's in there.
Yeah, baby.
It's so fun. This reveal is so
really fun. I don't regret knowing the twist beforehand, because it allowed me to giggle and cackle as Ghoul Adam continued his machinations throughout the episode.
In your sicko voice,
yeah,
even.
But it would also be very fun to find out here. Dean tries to escape by breaking a stained glass window in the fucking cavern, whatever the fuck. Meanwhile, Sam is tied to a table.
Jesus style?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's being crucified. And Kate and Adam, well, the ghouls that are taking on the forms of Kate and Adam are nearby. Sam calls them ghouls, and Kate says, I find that term racist. What
is this?
I guess, okay, like, the origin of the ghoul is that, like, it's, like a being from pre-Islamic Arabian religion. So, like, it's racist because she's not Arab? What? I'm not really sure.
What even is? Also, like, they make a point of being, like, their dad, and that they're, like, brother and sister, right? And so they do have conceptions of gender.
Yes.
How does that work if the person they last ate is, like, the person they become?
I mean, they could just...
Can you only just...
I think they could eat whatever, but they do gender-affirming eating.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, one day a ghoul will eat me and be like, have like a transgender revelation.
Hell yeah.
And it'll be the most important thing to happen in their ghoulish life. Mm-hmm.
She's being creepy and being like, oh wow, I want to eat you so bad. She mentions that she's really excited about the prospect of eating fresh meat instead of what they're used to, which means that dead bodies aren't like a ghoul's like natural diet. It's just like what they settle for.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, like,
pretty benevolent of them.
Yeah, like their dad was being really nice. Like, that was really nice of their dad. Okay, so Sam's like, trying to provoke them, or just being a dick in general, where he goes like, ghouls don't usually go after the living. You're just filthy scavengers, feeding off the dead, taking the form of the last corpse you choke down. Which is, like, part of that's just, like, exposition. But, like, he is doing it in, like, and you suck way. And that's, like, it's bad to eat dead things. It makes you a filthy scavenger. Okay, like, are you eating, like, your burgers when the cows are alive, Sam? Like, what is this?
Sam is like Dean is in a restaurant being like, I want the
bacon cheese,
like I want the steak like medium rare or whatever. And Sam's like, just get the cow in here. I'll just bite the cow.
And Adam reveals that ghouls also get the thoughts and memories of the last person that they eat. We are what we eat.
Pretty fun.
And Sam says, "You're monsters." And throughout this, like, he's being, like, cut up with knives and, like, they're, like, sucking on his blood and shit, and he's losing blood fast, and it's like, ouch, owie, ow. Yeah, Adam says, like, you use that word a lot, Sam, but I don't think you know what it means. And then Kate mentions that Sam's blood tastes different, so, yeah, it is sort of like well, you're calling us monsters, but you've changed from human biology also due to the actions that you're doing that are evil this season.
It is so fascinating how that works. Is it only human blood that, like, changes the taste of your blood from human to something else?
What does demon
like,
blood taste
I eat, like, if you eat, like, animal blood, which I do. Yeah. Like, does that change? Like, if a ghoul eats me, if, again, the transgender ghoul eats me, like, what's the situation? Are they gonna be like, oh, this one just had, like, a Betamax. What's that about?
We can call a ghoul over after you eat certain things and have them test it out.
Exactly. I hope the transgender ghoul thinks I'm tasty.
The Adam goes, our father was a monster? Why? Because of what he ate? He never hurt anyone, Sam, living, anyway. And, like, he's literally right. Like, correct.
It's all correct, but because they're
doing it between sucks of Sam's blood. It's like,
we're supposed to be like, and they're so wrong.
It's, okay, like, obviously, like, the body is important to many religions, and, like, it's not great that happened to the bodies, but, like,
yes.
If you need to eat, like, people to survive, like, okay.
Yeah.
It really does not warrant a hunt. Kate says, no, he was no monster, but the thing that killed him was a monster named John Winchester. So fucking true.
Ooh. And I mean, to add to the ghoul stuff, it's like, isn't the thesis of hunting like saving people hunting things?
Right.
And so, like, who the fuck are you saving with, like, a ghoul situation? I don't know. Maybe it's like a saving from, like, heavenly blah blah blah. It is quite confusing to me the way, like, hunters are portrayed as non-believers of religion when all of their equipment is religion. A lot of their equipment is religion-based, but slay.
Yeah.
Is it, like, just like a, what's that thing called? When it's, like, it's not the actual event. Is it like a placebo effect when you throw holy water at the demon? It's like, ouchie, ouch. And it's just because they think it's holy water and that's why it's happening.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. It is also fun that, like, John is, like, the monster, Yeah. Wasn't it, like, fucking Joe who was, like, her dad used to tell her stories about, like, monsters when she was a kid? Like, about the stuff he haunted?
I think Mary also received that kind of
Oh, I think that was Mary, actually. Yeah, you're right. That was Mary, not Joe. And, like, I think it is absolutely fascinating to have, like, a monster doing, like, here's a bedtime story. And it's like, there's this man named John Winchester.
And he's a dick.
He's a fucking asshole.
More ghoul backstory is that Kate and Adam are brother and sister. and grew up orphaned but had each other. Adam says, like you and your brother, inseparable.
There's also like a very fun bit where Sam has like wounds on his side. A la Jesus. Yeah. Like they're really Jesusing him on this one. And Adam just digs into it. Oh, yeah.
Nom nom nom. Kate says it was very hard to get you on your own. Wouldn't they just want to torture both of them? Like, why just Sam?
I don't know.
Confusing.
Sam's their fave.
Yeah. They say that for 20 years, their lives sucked ass, and they just ate stinking flesh from graveyard, but then they decided to move up to alive people, specifically for revenge. The school is sexist.
Yeah.
Because Kate calls real Kate John's slut. Okay. And she doesn't even call Adam his bastard. She says it was John's cop friend, and then his slut, and then his son. Obviously, you're like, if this was like an equal opportunities, just use whatever insult you could, like, and then his bastard, like, that literally is his bastard son. But no, she just hates women. Right, and then they found out that John was dead, so Sam and Dean are gonna be the substitutes. They're gonna feed on Sam nice and slow like they did with Adam. Oh, by the way, he really was your brother. You should know that. He was still alive when we took our first bites, and he was a screamer. Hell yeah. And this whole time there are a bunch of shots of, like, these bowls under Sam's arms. Because, like, every time he's, like, flexing to try to get out of the ropes, like, more blood gushes out into the bowls. And for some reason, I thought he was gonna do some kind of cool demon blood trick. Like, that he was, like, making the blood go out of his arms on purpose, but no, that's just the blood going out of his arms due to his grievous injuries. RIP.
Also, what is the situation of, like, drinking your own blood if you have demon blood?
Probably nothing, because it's, like, he's increasing, like, the concentration of demon in his blood when he drinks pure demon blood. If he's drinking his own blood, that doesn't mean anything.
But, like, does the concentration decrease?
I think it's just the same. Because you already have demon-y blood.
What? But, like, yeah. How do I put this? Like, do you never, like, how does that work? Because it's not like, there's, like, an unlimited vat of blood. It's like, something's gotta be replacing something, you know?
Right.
So, like, is the demon blood just so much more powerful than the human blood?
Is Sam
that,
just, like, pissing out human blood every time after he drinks Ruby's blood? Like, are his veins bulging with all the extra blood that goes directly in there?
I know.
Because it's not like when you drink.
I mean, your marrow does produce blood cells.
Well, maybe it's just that Sam loses enough blood on hunts that, like, it balances out. It wouldn't work for other people. Yeah. Yeah,
he loses blood, and then his body produces more blood cells. And that's human blood. Yeah. And so he needs to get demon blood to get the levels back in order.
Yeah, exactly. Dean comes in with a gun, and he gets Adam in the shoulder, and Sam yells, "Dean, they're ghouls."
It's a
So
ghoul.
Dean kills Kate properly by doing a headshot, which is apparently how you get ghouls. There's a bit of a fight between Adam and Dean, and then, like,
he gets Adam,
and then he gets Adam, and he beats his head in.
Shoots him,
and then he beats his head in, like, just over and over again for a very long amount of time.
Like, there were times in the past where Dean was, like, very gung-ho about killing, like, I don't know, monsters.
Over aggressive with the final kill.
Like, with
Tammy and 309.
Like, there was also there was the Malleus Maleficarum stabbing the witch, right? Or was that a demon? Stabbing the demon over and over again.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I think maybe the one where he cuts the
vampire,
like, he saws the head off of that one vampire. Yeah. And it's like, a lot of those times it's like, because there was a threat to Sam, right? And then we are able to justify it as, like, because this is someone who was threatening Sam, and so he was like real pissed about it, etc. But here it's like, yeah, they are threatening Sam and they are tying Sam down with rope and duct tape and making him bleed all over the bowls. But like also like Dean doesn't gaff about that.
Yeah.
Sam has to be like, Dean, I'm bleeding out, for Dean to even come to his rescue. And it's just a bit odd. Like, is he mad at Adam?
Yeah.
Is he mad at this goal for killing Adam? Like, what's the situation?
Think it's that. I think it's what he said earlier, which is like, any like creature that's using like Dad's name to try to get to us better fucking watch out, or whatever he said earlier. I think it's just that.
Damn. So he just the gaff about Adam at all?
I mean, I don't think, not that much. After Dean has his fun little kill fest on the Ghoul Adam body, Sam is still like tied and bleeding out so much into the bowls. And he calls for Dean, and Dean sort of snaps out of it and helps Sam get up and gives him towels for his arms. Sam says, thank you, and Dean says, that's what family's for, right? And then keep pressure on that and runs off. Even though, both of Sam's arms are bleeding. Like, in order for him to keep pressure on one of them, he has to neglect the other fucking arm!
The other.
What the fuck?
He just suppresses them together.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman
do,
or whatever.
You know, like that pose you do where you're cupping your face to do like a flower pose or whatever.
That's what Sam's doing.
Like your face is a flower. That's what Sam's doing.
Yeah, again, he would eat on Instagram.
He literally would. We go now to like Sam and Dean. They're in the woods and they have built a pyre for Adam. Did they even take Kate's body out?
No, they were like, who give a fuck? I mean, I think inside Dean is still mourning that John and Mary, husband and wife, was not the sacred forever bond that he thought it was.
Adam's body is there, and they're, gonna burn the shit up. And Dean is saying, like, the gold didn't fake anything. Like, those pictures were real. Dad's journal was real. And Adam was her brother. He died like a hunter. He deserved to go out like one.
By being killed by ghouls, like all the people in the newspapers that start your hunts are also killed by ghouls and such, and you don't do this for them. Not that, like, burning a body is
also died
that,
like a hunter.
Like, nice or whatever, but I guess it matters to them. Kate did also die like a hunter. They died in the exact same way. But, like, she was only John's slut, whereas Adam is John's son. God.
Yeah, and Sam says maybe we can bring him back, get a hold of Cass, call in a favor.
So funny. He's so funny. Like, what has Dean been telling Sam about Cass that Sam thinks that Cass would even consider doing that, honestly? That's what I want to know.
The fact that
the last time Sam talked to Cass was in 416. He said, Dean was punched a few times. Can you heal him? And Cass said no. But Sam's like, no, but he'll bring Adam back from the dead for us. That's no biggie.
That is so funny. Also, he must be aware that Heaven is trying to, get them to do things and stuff. And, calling in a favor is number one way to get Heaven to be like, but we did this for you and now you do this for us. Yeah. And he was like, I want the little brother in the backseat, bro. He's so funny. Dean says Adam is in a better place.
Bro, you just went through 415.
Yeah, and then they burn that fucking body. And they have this final conversation which means something and also everything and also nothing. But no, it does mean something to me. Dean says, I finally get why you and that butted heads so much. You two were practically the same person. And then he goes, I worshipped the guy. I dressed like him, acted like him. I listened to the same music, but you were more like him than I will ever be. I see that now. And Sam says, I'll take that as a compliment. And Dean goes, you take it any way you want.
And it ends on Dean's face in the fire. Boo! Boo!
Yeah! Like, this is a Sam.
It's a little Sam
I
ep.
feel like this is a Sam.
That's why he was there during the whole ghoul talk and the fucking torture, while Dean just had brief little shots of, like, kicking stained glass. Like, boo!
Sam supposedly had the journey of learning that John can be considered a monster in some circles, but only supposedly because they don't interface with it that way. But, like, you know, like, being told by someone that, like, your dad killed an innocent guy just for being himself.
Just for having a fun, cool time.
Yeah. Just by goofing around.
Having a laugh, really.
And being like, and he is a monster to us. And then, like, learning what, you know, like, he also thinks that John was an irresponsible father to Adam.
Yeah.
And now Dean is here being like, you're just like him. The man that you've hated your whole life. And now you see you're trying to reason out is actually a good father because he failed to be a good father through your definition to someone else. I'm saying that you're like him. And, like, we don't even get, like, a good Sam reaction first. Like, what?
Who give a fuck about how Dean feels about this? Like, this is about...
I mean, I give a fuck.
Oh,
I give a fuck. I did...
Yeah.
I did tear up a little bit. I think there is something to be said about how Sam is the one that is purportedly like John, but hates him. And Dean is the one who wants to be like him, but could never. I don't agree with those character assessments,
John,
but
like, is not hated by Sam currently.
I like, again, I don't agree with those character assessments, but I agree that Sam and Dean would think this, you know. Like, I agree that they would assess their character in this way. And that is what's interesting to me. That Dean wants to be like John. Because the John in his head is like this cool hero who always saves the day, always knows what to do, always knows, you know, all that crap. And yet the only part of John that he can successfully emulate is
the aesthetic.
Being angry and being spiteful. Because, like, I mean, every single influence in our life, you know, parents, older siblings, whatever, there will always be aspects of them that we think, that is something I want to incorporate in my life. And then there would be aspects that are like, and that is so horrible, I never wish to be like that. And, like, you know, it must be miserable to have someone that you have forced yourself to look up to your entire life. And the only parts that are present in you of them is the negative parts, the parts that you have to suppress and you have to convince yourself is actually not that bad. Horrible.
Yeah, but I don't think we see that from Dean this episode. Like, he yells, like, a few times, but they never really go, and that's like John, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
he does
you know,
do, like, the...
I'm talking, I guess, more of
about just Dean in the future, but not Dean in this episode.
the all-encompassing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what did we think about this episode? I thought it was pretty fun.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
This is another one of those episodes where I go, like, we must be halfway through. And then I check and it's like, we're about to be done. Because it's like, the story is a lot more room to breathe, etc. Because it's less plot. But whatever. So, yeah. Best line, who worst line? I think my best line is, as I've said, like, Dean's, it's too late for us and Dad didn't have a chance with us. Because, like, those are the ones that made me think a lot.
Makes sense. I don't know. I think I liked when the ghoul called John Winchester a monster. That was pretty slay.
I don't know about, like, my worst line. Although I really did not like the way Lisa, the wife of Joe, and Dean talked. I was like, this is such a weird scene.
Yeah.
The emotional whatever is not correct.
I find that term racist for like when Sam calls them ghouls. That was pretty annoying.
Well, I find that comment racist. Is what I would say to that ghoul.
Spreadsheet.
Spread those sheets. So
That's
I
like
would
a
say for this one, misogyny is like
with
one?
the slut comment. Yeah, that's like a 1.
Racism 0, 1
for the that's racist line. I mean, I feel like if just saying slut counts as a misogyny,
Yeah, okay.
then yeah. The ones are just sort of like, there was a moment that we went, ugh.
Homophobia.
I don't think there was homophobia. Do you remember homophobia?
No. They did kill Adam, though. And Adam does become a one-body gay person.
That's true. Happy for him.
What a slay. What a slay way to end his story. Like, good for him.
Yeah. Alright. IMDb.
I would say this one is definitely less higher than the past couple episodes, but in my heart, it's good. So, 8.5.
Okay, I was gonna go higher than that. Like, I was thinking 8.8. But I don't like going more than 0.1 off from you. But
yeah.
I'll
take a chance.
Yeah, I'll take a chance. Let's see.
Okay, well, IMDb, Jump the Shark, which is still the funniest fucking title. It's an 8.2!
Ouch. People hate this
Hell
thing.
yeah! You really did take the jump. Yeah.
I jumped that shark.
Isn't it like
it's dumb that they're bringing in a new brother? They did do that in Sherlock.
But it's fun when they do it here. It says, this one says, I simply adore the subversion of monster and family with the ghouls here. This blurring of the line between the two categories not only works for Sam's arc, but sets up the 6th season more than people realize. The film's humanistic viewpoint comes through strongest when it blurs types like this. My issue with this statement is, what do you mean by, like, strongest? If you mean, like, strongest in that, as in, like, it's very present, it's like, okay, I understand. If it's strong as in it's good, I'm like, I don't think that's true. But okay. This one is like, I thought this was pointless back in the day, but now it's fine.
Cool.
Ironic title. I know it was picked to prevent the backlash this episode might have had, but it's by far the less jump the shark moment the show's ever had. It was logical to the loner hunter's life habits and a nice way to keep viewers guessing.
Yeah.
The ending twist was a nice touch, and I knew something like that might happen from my previous watch, but I didn't remember
just
if
like
it was
you for
so
real.
early on in the series. So like me. Yeah, I mean, it is one of the better episodes, is the thing. Just because Supernatural has so many bad episodes.
Yeah, I mean, multiple people are mentioning that the monsters are sympathetic here, so... I mean, I think, was that on purpose? Was Supernatural supposed to, like, make us go, like, yeah, they do have a point?
I mean, the thing is, they do have a point. And I feel like anybody who's
would
watching
know
the show
they
will be like,
but,
they
like,
do have a point.
The writers know that they have a point?
I mean, maybe they do. It's just that it's never a point that it's explored or followed
it's just
through.
like, interesting idea. Let's go back to killing indiscriminately.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it for this episode of Busty Asian Beauties. Next week, we will be discussing Season 4, Episode 20. I forgot the title.
The Rapture.
The Rapture. Leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcast.
Follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is babpod, B-A-B-pod. Thanks to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/bustyasianbeautiespod, and check out our merch at babpod.redbubble.com.
You can email us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at bustyasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time.